No.
Hello,
that's why-
everyone. Hello. Shut up. I'm doing my intro. Hello, everyone. Today we're watching Way of the Warrior, The Visitor, and Hippocratic Oath. And maybe some fat cats later. At least one.
If
Oh,
anyone,
My perfect little girl is not fat.
You just said fat cat. Or maybe DB said it.
no, it was me.
Okay.
Besmirching the name of Mara.
So there's to let everyone know there's dust and all of that in my apartment. So if people cry during the visitor, it's okay.
Okay.
It's allergies. It's definitely not related to the episode at all.
Good to know. Oh, I should probably start the timer. That seems like a good strategy. There we go, 5 minutes. So no, we're not skipping the visitor. We're not skipping it.
How dare you?
I forgot what I was about to say. Oh, if anyone else wants to join the voice chat, there's a link to Discord in the description, and it's just open to anyone. Yeah, I've never cried during the visitor. I mean, I'm aware that it's sad, but it doesn't seem to
Me
personally
neither.
affect me. I guess because I don't really have that experience. I haven't had that experience.
Well, I don't think you need to have the experience to realize that it's sad, but
Well, in the
But-
sense that I'm not a father, and and my father's doing perfectly fine.
Your father isn't slipping in and out of subspace?
No, so I don't
would've-
have the
would've-
personal experience of a very traumatic father thing like a death.
I was in high school the first time I saw The Visitor. I was not a father then. I'm not a father now. I'm probably never going to be a father. And my dad was absolutely fine. I still got emotional.
Okay. Charles, we watch along together. I'm not going to be playing the show on stream because, copyright, I'm just going to get shut down if I do. So the idea is that you queue up your own episode, ideally on Amazon, because that's what I'm using, so we'll be in sync. You can also find it on Netflix or Hulu or YouTube or wherever, or if you just have, discs. And then there'll be a timestamp on screen for you to sync yourself up. When we're about to press play, we'll do a short 5-second countdown. So we're all synchronized.
So yeah, I'm the same way. I haven't lost a parent, and I'm not a parent myself yet. But I think it's just well acted, and the way mostly Cisco acts when he comes back. I think it's just so well acted.
Yeah, Avery Brooks is really powerful in this episode. And, not to say that Sirach Lofton and Tony Todd don't do an amazing job either, but, it is Cisco portraying the dad of being like, please, my child, move on and live your life. That is really affecting, I think.
Yeah, Jake kind of just threw away his entire life on a vague hope. It worked out for him in the end, but there was every chance it wouldn't. It would have just been very sad.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say Avery does a really good job. I would give his Esper rating at least an 8 or a 9 out of 10.
No. I mean, okay, to be fair, he's literally Space Jesus, so fine. Specifically for Cisco, you can have that.
Again, that episode, I just picture you screaming for for 47 minutes. You were just screaming.
I just
Going to be
don't
amazing.
watch those things. Unless it's like James Randi and debunking. Yeah. I definitely have issues with the intro of Ghostbusters. I guess not really, because in Ghostbusters, I mean, who is it? Is it, it's the main guy,
Venkman.
Venkman. He's giving some students a ESP test, and he's just making it up, whether they're doing it right or not.
Well, it's not that he's making it up. He's hitting on the girl.
Oh, yeah. Hulu with ads? Oh, no. Oh, that's gonna be awful for this. I mean, you
Yeah,
can
kids-
try.
it's
We wish you the best.
good luck.
Good luck.
Having
Have
been
fun.
Before Star Trek in my childhood, my biggest fandom was Ghostbusters, and going back and watching that movie as an adult and seeing just how much of an absolute scumbag Venkman
Oh,
is,
he's awful.
made me go like, oh no, what did I love when I was a child?
But that, I don't know. There's something about that I love.
Just you love the fact that he's just evil.
Yeah,
I
absolutely. Just such a weird character.
Yeah, I didn't get Venkman when I was a kid. I didn't get what was going on there. But like, obviously,
Right, hang on.
much later in
We're
my
almost
life-
ready. Everybody be queued up to 0. Wave the warrior. We're gonna press play in 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. Mute the jazz.
So-
Blur the screen. Okay, go.
I will take on my regular duties as the Grim Reaper of our stream and report that Greg Duffy Long, who was one of the people this episode was dedicated to, was the personal assistant of Renee Echeverry and Robert Hewitt Wolf when they worked on Deep Space Nine.
Wait,
He died of
were you just trying to say Renee Aubergenois and you butchered it, or is that someone else?
Renee Echeverry is one of the writers.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And
Two Renees.
he died from complications of AIDS. And Ronald W. Smith was a hairdresser on Deep Space Nine who passed away. I don't know what caused his death. I couldn't find a source for that, but
Okay.
those are the two people who were mentioned at the beginning.
Oh, there's Odo. Oh, sorry, not Odo. Random shapeshifter. We don't know who it is.
Spoilers.
Mystery.
That wasn't actually on purpose. I just, All right, everyone look for the fish on the promenade. It's going to be around here somewhere.
Wait, there's a
Fan
fish
out.
on a promenade?
There's a fish skeleton
Yeah,
on the
fish
promenade.
skeleton. It's hanging from the ceiling. We noticed it like either in the
Like
premiere
season-
or like
episode
the second
1.
episode.
There's just a fish skeleton hanging up and now we always
the
look out
fishy.
for it.
There's the fish tank.
There it is. It's up right above Bashir, yeah. At least from that angle. Oh, look at Cisco's head. The top of Cisco's head is looking much better these days.
Yep.
Last week, he still had his hair.
Yeah. Also, this whole drill, the whole concept of it, and the way it's conducted makes absolutely no sense once we see the changelings in action. Like they don't do this. They are
No.
not like going to be running around the
Well-
station terrorizing everybody.
To be fair to them, this is what the Changeling did on the Defiant last week. Because he was
True,
already
but-
discovered.
That was after he was revealed. It was a much closer situation. If we're thinking about once again Deep Space Nine as the analog to an airport, a changeling is going to go mostly unnoticed, and in fact, well, not to spoil anything, does go mostly unnoticed.
I think we only get one other shapeshifter in this episode, but we don't know who. That won't be revealed until a while. Mid to late season.
Yeah, at least one. And what's funny is if you think back on this episode when he gets revealed and remember the details, you realize one of their measures against changelings is absolutely useless.
Oh, I've talked about that extensively. Just, look, blood tests are the worst. They do literally nothing.
Also, it's like the first thing you would think of as somebody who's a solid trying to detect the changeling. They probably came up with a way to circumvent them like 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, Charles, as I mentioned earlier, I can't show the actual show on stream or play the audio. The idea is you just queue up your own video and watch along. The blurry screen is just to help you keep synchronized.
Tholian silk.
Tholian silk. This is strictly bring your own video.
Pike City. So this is 3. That's where he fought the Gorn, right? Kirk?
I don't know, but I can look it up.
I think that's where Kirk fought the Gorn.
He fought him in Southern California.
Yeah. That is from the episode Arena. Also from the episode Family Business with Mookie. I guess she had some business on Cestus 3. I mean, I would assume you know that already, Cassidy. You're literally dating. Does this ever get explained what they were doing in the docking ring? I don't think it ever comes up.
I don't believe so.
They just...
I think it does, but it doesn't get paid off until next season. I think if what they're doing is what I'm thinking it is, it does not get paid off until next season.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of anything to do with the docking ring, but maybe we'll find out next season.
I don't necessarily know that it is specific to the docking ring. That may just be where they're installing this equipment. But
oh yeah, I mean it could be all that stuff. Absolutely.
In one of the key episodes of, I think it may actually be the end of this season, beginning of the next.
It is the end of season 5 because that's
season 5. Yeah. So yeah, more than a season away.
Oh, next season. Yeah, sorry. I'm also following another podcast, so I can't keep track of where I am.
Okay. Ah, the new Klingon flagship.
That particular model of Klingon starship first appeared in canon in All Good Things.
Okay.
Oh, it did it. That's cool.
Oh, hey, Martok. And Martok even has 2 eyes.
Yeah,
that's what I like to call Martok. Good old 2-eye Martok.
Yep. Look at that binocular vision. Very impressive.
Yeah, that Klingon starship is the class of starship that gets absolutely impaled by the upgraded Enterprise D's phasers in All Good Things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. It just goes straight through, doesn't it?
Yep.
Don't you dare skip.
Oh, no. Don't press skip intro, or you're going to be out of sync by like 2.5 minutes. So how's the weather? It was raining here last night. It's nice and sunny now. Very, very, weathery. How's the weather in space?
It's above freezing here.
Oh,
It's
good.
currently 23 degrees here.
Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Well, that'd be amazing if it was 23 Celsius, but unfortunately not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the high 20s here too, Fahrenheit.
I think it's like 50 something where I am.
We are bordering on 40 here.
So I imagine in this episode we're not going to be seeing a triangle ship. We might see one in the intro. Yeah, there it is in the intro. That one on the right.
Okay.
That's the ship model we're looking out for, but the one in the intro doesn't count. Keep an eye out for that ship.
I do like the newer version of the song. It's just the little boom, 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 boom. I like it.
I'm classic. I prefer the original version.
How do you feel about Faith of the Heart?
It's been a long road.
I like Faith of the Heart.
If I am going to rate the Faith of the Heart renditions, the version that they play before season 4 is better. The one with the little jaunty beat and the guitar riffs and stuff like that.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. I really like the season 1 and 2 version. I'm not so keen on season 3 and 4 version. Everyone's so paranoid around the Klingons. What do the Klingons ever do? You're friends. That's the whole point. O'Brien's pretty chill about him. So is Sadiq.
I'm sorry, what's his name?
Siddiq El Tahil El Fadil Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim El Mahdi.
Oh, that's Sadiq. Okay, cool.
That's Siddiq. Not to be confused with Siddiq El Tahil El Fadil Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim El Mahdi.
See, that guy owes me $10, so not a big fan of that one.
Okay, I need a decibel reference here because I don't know enough about the decibel scale to know how loud that is. Let me. So yeah, if you see on stream, my screen suddenly goes white or gray or something. I'm looking something up.
Isn't it something like a jet plane engine is 100 decibels and room, like
So
a silent room, is like 60 something?
I found a scale. A library is 45, so it's currently quieter than a library in there. Normal conversation 60. A toilet flushing apparently can go between 75 and 85. A noisy restaurant is 90. A jet engine is 120. So it's a little loud in there with Klingons, but it's not, it's noisy restaurant level with Klingons. Excuse me, Elias, his name is not Alexander Siddiq. It's Siddiq El Tahil El Fadil Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim El Mahdi, and I expect you to use his full name at all times. I really like that it is Martok who's suggesting this. So has anybody here not seen like all of DS9? Like literally anyone? Because I think we're probably, it's one of those popular series in the world. I think we're probably safe to talk about spoilers. Yeah, the fact that Martok is the changeling here and he's the one who's obsessing over blood tests, I really appreciate that fact. Just more and more proof throughout the entire series that they're worthless.
Again,
And later
he
on,
didn't replace
he's replaced right now. This is fake Martok. Yeah, we don't see real Martok until we get to the prison camp. Oh, that's true. We know he's the changing because he doesn't have like that purple pink blood. That's canon. We've established that blood is pink for Klingons. And very viscous.
Blood is Pepto.
Yeah, changing Bashir will also be the one to suggest blood test when his time comes. It's always the changelings who want it. And then somehow even humans fake the blood tests. I don't know how they do it.
I think the implication there, which we find out later,
It also, yeah, it might have just been a hologram tube.
yeah,
It might not have been
possible.
real.
I'm kind of with Kira here. I cannot imagine going to a holosuite and not feeling like it's just kind of LARPing and feeling awkward about it.
I'm guessing you're not one for Renaissance fairs either, are you?
I've never been to one, so I couldn't say one way or the other. I like the concept because that era of history is fascinating to me, but I've never been to one, so I can't say what those are like.
I mean, that's kind of the way I think of it. Like, you dress up, you go in, you have a turkey leg and pretend the sword fight or whatever. If you're Riker, you have a whole bunch of sex, and then you leave. That's what it is.
See, to me, there's a difference between LARPing and cosplay, and I think that Renaissance fairs are just big cosplay kind of things. LARPing just reminds me of simulated combat that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it just feeling very awkward.
So, in defense of Holosuite, I think I would feel pretty silly going in there like with someone in LARPing, unless it's someone I'm really close with. Like, these people are close, that's fine. Like, if I'm just going in my own, there's no real people judging me for my LARPing. They're all just holograms.
But whether it's cosplay or LARPing, it's all just pretend and imagination, right? Because
Yeah.
give me a holodeck, and yeah, I will take a fast car driving through the middle of town simulation anytime. That sounds awesome.
Oh,
Or
that's
whatever.
Drex, son of Martok.
Or imagine like the type of roller coasters you could do in a holodeck. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. Just
Oh,
essentially
this is.
go on all the best roller coasters that were ever made in one day with no lines. You always get the front seat. That'd be
This
amazing.
is building off the conversation they had earlier. Was it last week or the week before? But when Odo and Garrick went to the Gamma Quadrant and Odo was tortured, that whole thing. And they wanted to have breakfast together at the end. Odo was very understanding about it.
Or imagine a holodeck roller coaster where it goes off the tracks, and you're afraid, and you think it's gonna die, and then boom, it hits the tracks again, or like the tracks are invisible, and you have no idea what it's gonna do.
Yeah, I'm out at that point.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Like I got a VR headset, and you feel real silly playing it, unless you're alone. If you're alone, you're just in another world. There's no issue.
Yeah.
You can do whatever.
I took my Vive to a friend's house once and had him
Oh,
play,
him one.
what is it? Super Hot. And you look
Right.
absolutely ridiculous playing Super Hot.
But it's amazingly fun.
It is really good.
But if both of you were in the simulation, I think you'd probably feel less dumb about it.
Oh yeah. It's just watching someone flail around an empty living room and nothing.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Not especially these days when you can't really go and see people. If you could like play in VR together, you could interact very well.
Yeah. So, do we agree Drax is dead after this episode? He's never
What?
seen again, never talked about again.
Why does he have to be dead?
I guess he doesn't, but like he's literally never talked about again. And my guess is, at some point, the Changeling's cover got blown, and Drax was the one who blew it, so he killed him.
I mean, changing Martok wouldn't have any compunctions about killing Drex, son of Martok. It's not really his son.
So if Worf, spoiler alert, if Worf joins the House of Martok as a brother, does that mean that Alexander and Drex are brothers also?
Yes, also the boy that Worf made Roostai with. They're also
Of
brothers. Like, not even a joke. That's literally the case. They just don't care about him. I don't even remember his name anymore. He's just the boy. No harm done. He's got a point.
So true.
I mean, Klingons don't really care about physical pain. It wouldn't matter if Garrick just broke some of their bones. They wouldn't care.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you just wound their pride. That's going to be a much more severe thing to them.
Yes, Andy, it was Jeremy Astor.
Jeremy Astor, that's right.
Garrick said that Drex had very small honor and then held up his pinky. He'll never forget it. Small honor.
Yeah. Drex is acting all big and tough on this station, but he's just trying to compensate for his small honor. He's not an honorable man.
He drives a giant Klingon warship that's raised with truck nuts. Compensate for a small honor.
What does wraith suspension mean on a starship?
I don't know.
Well, maybe it has
There's-
landing gear,
Ah,
like Voyager.
or giant mud tires.
someone get on that with fan art.
I mean, I don't know if any of you have seen Star Wars Rebels, but I'm just picturing Sabine's TIE fighter that she spray painted and made all gaudy.
I hope Klingons have custom painted warbirds and stuff.
Oh, no, that freighter does not look triangular. Cassidy does not fly triangle. Disappointing.
So in this dialogue, Cisco says something about MChar's engines instead of
Probably going to
Commander
target them.
K-Box engines. Yeah. He says it like MChar is the name and not the name of the person and not the name of the ship.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a high stress situation. Can't expect him to be perfect.
No, of course not. It's just a thing I noticed.
Yeah.
It's so tiny.
I mean, what are the Bajorians going to do about it? They don't even have ships.
They have impulse raiders.
They have like 5 fighters. All right, everyone listen out for MChar's engines. Not just a warning shot for now. Yeah, like that episode Ensign Row. When they think that some Bajorians went and attacked a Federation space station, Captain Picard's like, "What? How could they possibly have attacked a space station? They literally can't even go to warp." Yep, lock phasers on MChar's engines. Not the MChar's, just MChar's. Well, it wasn't really what he said that got them to go away. It was more about the fact that he has a bigger, badder ship. Cisco has a bigger stick. That wasn't an innuendo. I'm just referring to, walk softly, carry big stick.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Just don't worry about it.
No, we got you. We got you.
Just make sure you're not taking anything to the Maquis there, lady.
So, interesting fact about the ship that Cassidy's firing. They're flying, not firing. They're calling it the Zosa, but that's actually an African tribe, and it would be pronounced Ossa. So it's got the little click in it.
That's
Okay.
where I
Interesting.
think one of what's his name? The Deadly
Trevor
Show
Noah.
host. Yeah, this is his mother from there. That tribe.
He is Ossa.
Wait, who is?
Trevor Noah.
The current host of the Daily Show.
Oh, okay.
They are essentially the pacifist side of Zulu.
Poor K-Bach. Why you gotta do that to K-Bach? He's a pretty cool guy.
All they did was not want to start a war. Well, I guess that's a capital offense for Klingons.
They love their wars. I wonder how you could solve that little conundrum. Is there a Klingon available, perhaps?
I mean, I don't know of any Klingons that are available, but who knows? I think all the Klingons have unexploded spaceships.
Oh, those are
Oh,
some nice feet we're focusing on. It. This is very important.
it's Commander Wolf.
Eh.
Poor Mr. Wolf. You mean it's Mr. Rozhenko? Oh, hey, Worf. Of course, still wearing his starship uniform, but he'll switch into a station uniform soon enough. Probably at the end of the episode.
Send for B'Elanna Torres.
I mean, strictly speaking, would B'Elanna actually still be in the Academy? She might be available.
Oh, she would be like in the Gamma Quadrant already, right? Because this is season 3.
I thought they left it. They leave at the end of this season. Or
The Klingon monastery on Boroth. Man, he goes there a lot. And Boroth, they had like one small room on Boroth. How many Klingons actually go there? And they've got a whole empire of Klingons. I'd assume that a lot of them would want to make pilgrimages, but I guess
So
it's just available all the time.
So what happens when like Space Jesus comes back? Because that's where it's supposed to be. But
I mean,
now Space
we're gonna find out what happens.
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah.
We literally do see what happens.
so yeah, you're right because this is in October '95. Voyager is January '95.
Okay, so yeah, they're in the Gamma Quadrant.
Delta Quadrant.
Delta Quadrant.
If they're in the Gamma Quadrant, they've already got a wormhole to take.
What ain't General Martok not telling the truth? That's ridiculous. General Martok is the most honest Klingon you'll ever meet.
Klingons aren't big on lying.
Klingons aren't. And therefore General Martok isn't, right?
It's like you're trying to tell me something.
Well, right now what I'm trying to tell you is that Worf's hair is looking a lot better than it does in TNG.
Mm-hmm.
At least the point of TNG that we're on. It was way too poofy there. Oh, hey, Morn. It looks much better combed back, put in a ponytail.
So I wonder why Quark would laugh at that. Because like for Ferengi, a prune would just be a crazy earth fruit.
I mean, that's funny.
Well, I
A
know.
Klingon
but-
asking for fruit juice?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
he laughs like he thinks it's gonna give Worf explosive diarrhea, like prune juice does.
I posted a video in the Discord of Trevor Noah talking about his heritage, and honestly, it's better if he explains it than I do because I have a hard time pronouncing that. it takes some
says-
effort for me to do.
It
the
says
clicks.
Trevor Noah's Zosa or Kazosa or however you say it lesson. Maybe he can teach us how to pronounce it.
Oh, he does. Yeah,
Okay.
he pronounces it in that video a few times. There are 3 different characters that have like different click sounds in
Oh,
the
is this-
language.
Oh,
Is that from QI, the clip?
Yes, it is.
Ah.
Kira's made a lot of progress in overcoming her issues with holosuites. Now she's walking out into the bar with that. Felt silly when she was basically alone before. Thank you, Worf.
War. Does it make you merry?
I like how Worf is very dismissive of Kira here. Because he's immediately enamored with Dax.
I mean, look at her. She has such a nice hat. How could you not be enamored with that hat?
Okay, so what does she say there?
I've looked this up before. The rough translation is basically, I look a lot better than he did,
Yeah.
but with more suggestive overtones. Yes, it loses something in the translation. Drex has some anger issues here. Why are you yelling at the bartender, man? Now you're
So
just gonna
when I
need to
was-
get another cup.
So when I was in college and this was still airing, I didn't have cable in my dorm room, and I didn't feel like going down to the common room to watch it. So I downloaded a lot of these episodes, and whatever versions I got had Scandinavian subtitles.
Nice.
And I was pissed because in the English versions, there are no subtitles for what the Klingons are saying, but they very clearly provide Scandinavian subtitles for what the Klingons are saying. So I'm like, why do they get a translation, but we don't?
So were you
We just,
were you on
Just learn
the
Scandinavian.
were you downloading these off the Napster?
there's
back
Alexander.
then?
Napster kind of fell apart just after I got into college.
Hmm.
So it was not Napster. At that point, torrents were just starting to take off.
Yes, a slap with the back of the hand does mean a duel to the death, but I mean, we won't establish that for like another season, so don't worry about it, it's fine. Half a season, maybe. Yeah, it's really weirding me out seeing Martok with two eyes here. I don't like it. I don't like things that are different. Just poke it out. You'll look so much better. I mean, Worf is born to a noble family, and General Martok is a boy from the Ketha lowlands, so of course Worf's gonna look down on him. Ketha lowlands. Ridiculous. How many Klingons have the mustache thing? Where like goes down around the sides. I noticed that Martok has it too, but I usually associate that with Worf.
K-Bach
Is it very
has two.
common?
Drex did also.
Okay. No, Martok's a changeling. That's fake Martok.
Does real Martok not have that mustache?
He probably does.
He probably does, yeah.
Fake Martok skin looks a lot more modeled than real Martok.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a side by side. Yeah, real Martok moisturizes. This Martok, it looks like he has a skin condition.
So is this cosplaying or LARPing or just practicing?
I think it's safe to say that this is just practicing. Also, that's the same skull guy from TNG.
Yep. We brought back Skeletor. Oh yeah, it was 100% the changelings that wanted to invade Cardassia. 100%. As we're going to establish later, Martok, who's the changeling, is the one who's really pushing for it. He really wants to murder some Cardis. Probably mostly in retaliation for the attempt at, destroying the entire Great Link. I really hope the
Jadzia.
safety protocols are on.
Jadzia literally pushes away the blade, and Worf tells Alexander not to do that in a later episode. Canon is broken, worst series.
I mean, maybe Jadzia is just not as well trained as Alexander. She did lose.
And I guess he holds his son to a higher standard than Dax.
Emperor Kalis. He's still there. See, I think this episode is just after Generations. So they make
Yeah.
reference to the Enterprise being destroyed.
Exactly. Yeah. When does the Enterprise E get commissioned?
I think they already have the Sovereign class, but it's probably being commissioned right now, honestly.
Give me a second to check. Because it comes out the movie comes out the following year.
I mean, if you read about the development of the Galaxy class, it took them 20 years to go from design to prototype. So, like, the Sovereign was probably well under development by this point.
Well, yeah. I mean, presumably there was already going to be a ship, and they just decided to call it the Enterprise.
Oh, how convenient. I have a way you could repay him. Well, this worked itself out. It's a good thing this guy brought up that fact. So Worf didn't have to awkwardly suggest, like, hey, you know you owe me a favor. Yeah, every next-gen movie, they need a reason to bring Worf back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In First
The
Contact, he was on the Defiant, and it got, kind of screwed over.
Enterprise E was commissioned or launched October 30th, 2372, so 1 year after the D fell down.
Okay.
I love how Worf is commanding the Defiant during First Contact in the beginning, and then he just abandons his own ship. He's in
Yeah.
command of to go to the Enterprise.
I don't think he's given much of a choice. They just sort of beam them out.
Yeah, but all he says is the Defiant, and that's all the consideration he gives to his own ship and everyone on it.
I mean, Worf is a man of few words. Nice hat, good tea, comfortable chair. He only uses 2 words.
Yeah, he should be on the Defiant, trying to like fix it and caring for the people who are on it.
Well, nobody's on it. They literally beamed everyone off the ship. Yeah, the line, Picard to transporter room, whatever. Beam the Divine survivors aboard.
That's true.
They just brought everyone. And they described it as adrift, but salvageable. I assume that Sisko wasn't there, because Starfleet did the same thing they did to Picard, and just told him, you're too close to this, don't show up to the fight.
That makes sense.
Also, in First Contact, there's an echo of a Deep Space Nine line spoken by Riker. So Thomas Riker in the episode Defiant says, "Tough little ship," about Defiant. And then Commander Riker on the bridge of the Enterprise E says, "Tough little ship" to Worf after they rescue him.
Little?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, Odo's definitely still being a fascist here, monitoring every single communication log. He's really spying on just everyone. Odo, I'm still not convinced Odo's a good guy. He's on the good guy team, but I'm not sure Odo himself is great.
Nah, he would definitely lean on the fascist side if he could.
Yeah.
He had a great time during the Cardassian occupation.
Which I don't understand why the Bajorans revere him.
So that we don't have a
Because they
villain on the main cast.
They haven't watched that episode yet.
It's been overthrown, and they just replace it with another government that's also called the Central Command. So we
No,
don't
it's
have to
called the
rewrite
Utah
anything.
Council.
We already have a Tatapa console.
Have they mentioned it before this? I don't think so.
I might be misremembering, but I thought that we'd brought up this point earlier, like weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And at what point, I think they did mention a Tatapa console earlier.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Because it has always been entirely unclear what this transition actually means. In reality, I'm pretty sure it doesn't mean anything, because I mean, they're still antagonistic, they're still led by Gul Dukat. I mean, nothing changes.
Nope.
Why are you looking over at Worf like that? What did he do? There's gonna be founders on Cardassia. I still don't get... I guess I was out of necessity, but it seems weird that the Changelings were willing to ally with Cardassia after insisting that they wipe out the entire race.
Well, the weird thing is that General Martok is probably, well, if he were the real General Martok, it would be true. There could be changelings on Cardassia right now.
It also doesn't matter to the changelings how the Alpha Quadrant gets thrown into disarray. They just want to throw
long
it
as
into
it is.
disarray.
There's probably changelings on Earth right now, or at least there will be in a few episodes. 4 of them, specifically.
I mean, switching the Cardassian government from a strong military slash Obsidian Order control to civilian government would be a great way to destabilize it, I would imagine.
As Odo
So-
will point out, that is how they would do it.
Yeah, and just because all of the Tapa Council members aren't changelings doesn't mean there wasn't someone pulling some strings on Cardassia.
God, I'm still not convinced by that turbo lift design. It needs doors. I can't get over it. Yeah, Gul Dukat was the one who negotiated to bring Cardassia into the Dominion, so I don't know what power the Tatapa console even supposedly has. They didn't get a say in it. They're just like, no, I'm in charge now.
Oh no, Mr. Wolf.
Oh, why don't they just give the Tatapa console a bunch of blood tests? See if that works.
One thing that DS9 does not have that often are like senior staff meetings like this. Not as much as they did in Enterprise or in TNG.
Yeah. They're not even in the conference room for some reason. They're all just lounging. They have a conference room.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
it's a lounge room.
I mean, if you look over here, look at how much she's lounging. She's pretty relaxed about the whole situation. Kira's always doing this.
Well, about to say bad things happening to Cardassians. You really think she's gonna have a problem with that?
Yeah, that's fair.
They're getting their asses kicked. Cool. Cool.
I mean, this seems kind of like a stretch.
Yeah.
They might want Bajor, but I'm not sure they'd be willing to go to war with the Federation over, I mean, kind of nothing, really. Just because they feel like it. So, what? Once they do warn them, it's only like when the Klingons are like an hour away from the Cardassian space. Was it even worth it? The Cardassians would have seen them soon enough. They're basically there already.
That's true, yeah. They're all cloaked.
A new suit. Oh, Cisco does need a new suit. That's true. He'll be wearing it later. A third of their military.
I like what Garrick says.
Yeah, Cardassian space within the hour. Is this really worth it? I mean, even a full hour at warp is basically getting nowhere. I assume the Cardassians have listening posts on the borders, so they can tell when people cross their border.
I mean, the Federation has some stuff, but it's not that great. This is Cardassia; they're not as advanced.
I mean, yeah, the Klingons are probably cloaked, so...
Yeah. I mean, I know the Federation occasionally has like a Sonus net equivalent, but
I'm just remembering in at least one of the episodes about the Maquis, I think the one where Ensign Rowe defects, they talk about having a hard time crossing the Federation sensors. So I guess they just have a sphere of sensors around them, so people can't just go around. Because, you know, it's space.
nope. Space is well known to be two-dimensional.
Very well now.
God, I have comments about Discovery right now, but we can't talk about them until we have a little break and we can do a spoiler warning and people can go away for a bit.
I can just say I was crying.
Can leave you in peace.
They sent a strongly worded letter.
That's what the Federation does.
Yep. And then Gowron sent an even more strongly worded letter.
Oh no, you can't.
See, with your accent, I'm not sure if you said can't or something else. It's
Right.
unclear.
Yes.
Oh,
I can't.
have you seen that Sound and Music video with the Mother Superior?
I have not.
I can't face it. What is it you can't face?
Oh, this... I love the Gowron's reaction here.
Oh, I love his eyes.
Oh, he's so happy. He loves Worf. Gowron is not aware of how to relax. He's always so excited about something. And yeah, again, if you watch his eyes, he will literally never blink. No matter what. It kind of looks like it does sometimes when he's looking at the ground, but nope, they never fully close. Not even when he dies. Gowron has a variant of the side mustache. It just blends into his beard. He doesn't shave the sides. Yeah, the implication here is that Worf was just standing there for the entire commercial break. However long that takes, a few minutes.
It's 3 minutes of just standing there in
Just-
silence.
Like a mute to block.
Well, one eye blinked.
Carol, why are you yelling? Oh, he squinted there for a second.
Yeah, he half blinks.
Yeah, that's quite a lingering shot sometimes, and his eyelids are like trying to close, but he's refusing.
Oh, Gowron's mouth looks really small.
Yeah.
Well, I'm paying way too much attention to his eyes now.
It's his most important feature. In TNG, when we first meet Gowron, he was a lot less fluffy. I think he didn't have a beard at the time. And yeah, his face looked a lot weirder because of that. The proportions are a little... He has a triangular face, really.
I just feel like when he was walking behind Worf, he just blinked really, really fast.
Probably.
Like, no one sees me blink.
Every time Gowron turns around, he's probably closing his eyes just to get some rest. Look how long this shot is lingering. And Robert O'Reilly. I keep saying Bill O'Reilly. That's someone else. Robert O'Reilly is just holding his eyes open for minutes at a time. And now he can blink because it's looking away. And blinking now.
I wonder if who came up with that idea of just Gowron doesn't blink.
That was Robert. That was the actor. Oh, hey, Pat
Is
Glantz.
that his call? Nice. That's why I was hoping.
The story is that when he went into audition, they weren't really totally convinced by his performance. And then he did the crazy eyes thing and he was in.
Nice. I approve.
You can find a interview about that on YouTube. Maybe we can watch that in the break between episodes.
Sorry, that happens next week.
What happens next week?
What they're talking about.
Okay. O'Brien.
Tough crowd.
O'Brien was really expecting a laugh there, but no.
If he told that joke to other engineers, he would have just killed.
Jeez, Worf. It's not that big a deal. You can just get another ship. It's fine. They're literally building another ship right now for the Enterprise. You know, I'm looking at Worf now. He also doesn't blink that much either.
I'm
Is it
just
just
He blinked right there. He blinks occasionally, but not nearly as often as the human actors.
I was just imagining all of the Federation officers like eyes fluttering, like constantly blinking.
So in the DS9 documentary that was released last year or the year before, I don't remember which, but they mentioned that when they do a future episode and they put Klingon makeup on Column, that he can't blink because his eyes are basically glued open.
Oh. Well, that
Interesting.
explains why Klingons just tend not to blink. Okay, that's fair. It's the House of Quark, you could say. Quark, you can't say that.
Quark, that's racist.
But many of his best friends are Klingons. Remember?
Yeah, he had a Klingon. Let me try again. He had a Klingon wife at one point. He can't be racist against Klingons.
It's like, nope, you can't quit.
Does this imply that Starfleet, when Data was being disassembled or threatened to be disassembled, Starfleet could have just said, no, you can't resign? Regardless of the law? It's like, no, I'm not accepting your resignation. Go get disassembled.
If there is anyone you would want to convince to do something as opposed to force them to do something, it would be Data.
He was being...
Because it's
when they
like
told him-
smart and fast and all of that as he is, like he would probably own whatever you have going.
But I'm thinking back to the Offspring to Lol's episode. When they ordered Data to hand her over to Starfleet, Data just went with it. He was going to do it till Picard told him no. Okay, Gul Dukat has a gray spoon.
But Garrick didn't have had a blue spoon earlier.
Did or did not?
Did have a blue spoon.
He did?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That would imply that... Because Garrick doesn't always have a blue spoon. That would imply that the blue is makeup and not biological.
Or it's just the women, right?
But Garrick's not a woman, I assume.
Garrick has a blue spoon?
He did earlier. This episode, anyway.
Well,
I think he doesn't usually have a blue spoon.
Maybe
I
the
don't
blue
know
spoon
if
is
I
just...
did.
Maybe the blue spoon is just like a reaction to like blood or something from his injuries. And there's just something organic with women, like Cardassian women, like blushing or something. That's why they have a blue spoon.
But Cardassians have red blood.
I don't know. Well, like varicose veins and things like that, like it looks blue in humans. Maybe it's like a similar thing with Cardassians.
That adds some odd implications to that, multiple female Cardassian Obsidian Order agents who have blue spoons. It's like, why are they blushing? I guess they just really like Cisco or something. I don't know.
I mean, who would say no to Paul Avery Brooks?
What was the name of that infamous Cardassian doctor that was in the Voyager episode?
Jatrell, I think.
No.
Jatrell is definitely the name of an episode in Voyager. Might not be that episode.
Oh, what was his name? Like the Bajoran Maquis members were talking about how the doctor experimented on Bajorans and
Oh, yeah, Jatrell was the guy who committed genocide against the Neelix people. That's right. Well, let me look up Voyager Cardassian Doctor.
well, he cured like the Fostosa virus or something like that.
Krell Moset.
Chromoset, yeah, that's him. I bet he would know all about blue spoons.
Yes, he cured it by... So, I already forgot his name. I want to say Moset, but that's someone else.
Chromoset, yeah.
Moset, he's the Nazi doctor. He made actual medical advances, but through, not so great methods. One might say, specifically evil methods. And then the whole question of the episode is it ethical to use those advances given how they were obtained?
Don't get me started on that. I've got thoughts.
Okay.
Memory Alpha doesn't know whether the blue thing is like. Yeah, it has conflicting info anyway about the blue stuff.
It's not the Enterprise. It's not the same. This ship is much less luxurious. Worf isn't used to it.
You were on the Enterprise when it had that phase cloak.
That's true. But did he say he's never been on a ship? Or that he's not used to being on a ship?
I don't know.
Why are you whispering? They're not going to hear you.
Thanks for that exposition, Dr. Bashir. Appreciate it.
Dr. Bashir is very helpful. That's his role on the Defiant.
Helpful.
He also will tell us the odds of battles later on. Very helpful. You've already said that line, O'Brien. You can't keep saying the way I see it there are two options. That's not encouraging, Chief.
I like
Is
how
that
they.
Looks Romulan.
I don't see any Cardassian wreckage there. None of those look like fragments of a Galler class or anything.
Yeah, they're all green.
Are you telling me that Discovery's Klingons having, violating the rules of war and not caring so much about honor and war, that wasn't exclusive to that show? Are you telling me that Star Trek Discovery did not completely violate canon? And they actually did their research?
I mean, yeah, they had that in Enterprise. There was a trial with Archer where they had the whole debate about what honor really is. Is it victory or is it a deserved proper victory or whatever? When he got put on trial.
Except for Turbolift space. The space around the Turbolift is awful. Yes,
For,
I would agree with you, Hannah.
for Hylas K in the chat, I think that the Cardassian military was more of a match in like tactics and cunning and that sort of thing. Maybe not so much in raw technology, but remember at this point, like most of the Cardassian military was wiped out by the invasion of the Founders, or at least some of them. So
Really, only 2 decades of peace? Jesus. You guys go to war all the time. Is this going to be the third Klingon Federation war? How are these people even friends most of the time?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, it's kind of like the USA dealing with everyone else. Massively superior firepower, but that doesn't always solve the problem.
I mean, you'd think that. I mean, space is pretty similar wherever you are, so it's not like.
But this is Star
Take
Trek
home
space.
advantage.
You can hide anomalies and nebulae, you can do all kinds of stuff.
That is true.
Hide yourself behind planets.
Yep.
So, my phone's ringtone is that hailing sound from DS9. And now it kind of stresses me out hearing it in the show.
hmm
Do not set your ringtone to Star Trek sounds.
So there's no big screen on the Defiant. I didn't realize that.
My ringtone used to be the communication sound from TOS. That boop boop sound.
Okay.
Uh.
Yeah, I went with the DS9 one because it sounds really close to like an actual ringtone. So it's a subtle Star Trek thing. It's just ringing. Wait, does that mean we're destroying them now, or are we just shutting them down? I think we're just killing them.
Yeah, we're killing them.
Yep. Yep.
They'd
Good
be
job,
dead.
Worf. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of Cisco's fault that we're going to war with the Klingons. Cisco and Worf. On Amazon, at least, the color is really fluctuating for some reason. Like the saturation is coming in and out. Is anyone else getting that?
I'm on Netflix. Don't have that issue.
I have a Plex copy, so it's
Especially
perfect.
Cisco right now, his uniform is getting more or less bright red.
Are you sure it's not your screen that you're looking at?
I mean, it might be, but I've never had this issue with anything else.
That is strange. He's currently Mr. Worf, not just Worf.
Dark red, bright red, dark red, bright red.
Yeah, mine is
Oh
doing
shit!
that. too.
My copy's doing that too. Actually,
Yeah, mine too.
Now I'm
I don't
looking
think it's
after
the
it as
red
well.
alert lights because it's a slow, like breathing effect instead of flashing.
Probably the scan. No, I see it as well. Okay, it's just an issue with the film. Oh no, yeah.
Yep.
In general, then.
Just some weird conversion artifact or post processing.
Yeah.
that was a really quick minute.
It feels like a relatively small council as well.
Okay, I think it is the red alert lights, but not in the fact that they're casting light. I think it's the camera adjusting the balance on it when the lights come on. Because it's in sync with it, but it doesn't have... As soon as the light comes on, it takes a couple seconds for it to fully change color. And when the lights goes off, it takes a couple seconds to change color again. But it's in sync.
Oh, Lieutenant Jonas in the background. Chilling. I think it's Jonas. Johnson? Something with the J.
This was on film. This wasn't video. This was film.
I think Enterprise was the first time they used digital.
Even Enterprise is on film, I'm pretty sure. It's just all the effects are video.
I thought.
Actually, I don't know. Let me look that up.
Goldacott, that's racist. God.
I mean, there's lots of racism in Star Trek. I mean, people don't like other species. Like that's a general thing.
Yeah. It's almost like real life.
Yep.
It looks like the first 3 seasons are on film, and the 4th season is on video for Enterprise.
Okay. I was partially right. I'll take it.
25% right. With Demar.
I like Garrick's line here.
Which one? He has so many great lines.
This
Oh
next
yeah,
one.
no, this is really
This
good.
next one.
Yeah, how careless.
That's such a good line.
Cousin Gala? I heard he owns his own moon.
I'm so glad we got to meet Cousin Gala.
Oh, yeah. Twice, in fact. He has 2 episodes.
Josh Pais is so amazing.
A people person.
But Quark, you still get to interact with people when you sell weapons, just a different kind of person. His own moon.
He said it.
I'm glad Quark clarified for us. We wouldn't want to forget who Cousin Gala is.
I love how it's
You're the chief of the DS9 Promenade Association. You got it.
That Kanar looks weird. Kanar's usually a much darker color.
maybe it's like white wine Kanar or something.
Maybe it's pumpkin spice Kanar.
It looks like grapefruit juice, actually.
Oh yeah, Quark did say human. Quark didn't say a human drink. Weird. Oh hey, Morn.
Just like those.
Just like...
If we hadn't caught up on it.
See, that's not a Garrick blue spoon. It's like a bruise spoon.
Yeah, there was a comedian I like who was talking about basically how the US exports a lot of culture. It's our main export. And we just kind of, assimilate people. And one of the things they were talking about was like, oh, these people in this distant country, they go and meet in a cafe to foment rebellion against the United States. And it's like, oh, let's meet and foment. And as they're discussing their plans for rebellion, you slowly build a Starbucks around them. It works perfectly. Klingons do not. How many friends, though? That's an important detail. And how did they get to the other side?
Not many.
Who are those
400.
Klingons?
More.
Well, I got that much. But I mean, did they come back from Cardassian space, or the Klingons somehow sent another fleet, and they just happened to get here at the exact right time?
So polite for the Klingons to give them extra time to, hand out phasers and shit to everyone.
Well, it's very important that they loom menacingly for a little while first.
I'm still not comfortable with the way they wear their guns on their hips. Just very easily grabbable. There's no holster or anything now. It's just velcroed on.
A Velcro gun.
Do you think Starfleet officers just have magnetic belts? And that's why they don't have pockets? Everything just sticks to the side that they need?
That would be interesting.
Oh, Klingons are not.
Klingons not respecting international galactic rules of war and attacking medical staff.
All that matters is the victory. Who cares about the honor in it?
Yep.
Hint, hint.
Do we ever get to hear the opera about Martok changeling? I don't think so. Why don't we get the opera? Yeah, the Klingons really are waiting a long time. It's a very sturdy box, Odo.
It's a box made out of worthless gold.
God, gold, that'd be a terrible weapon.
Yes, it would.
I like how Armin Shimmerman was like doing double takes with the box. Oh, Odo. He's got a point.
So
Oh,
Odo can read Ferengi language, and we learned yesterday Riker can read Ferengi language when he was on the ship.
Apparently. So I
Which is-
noticed that Bajoran security officer outside the airlock, he didn't have like a regular Bajoran phaser pistol. He had this, I think it was supposed to be a rifle, but it was just the same prop but bigger. Like the exact same proportions as the pistol, just twice the size.
Maybe it's a 50 cal phaser.
And I think that's generally not how you design a rifle. Just,
So you make guns, is it just take the thing that works and make it bigger?
yeah, Garrick is probably going to regret this. Oh look, Worf has a chair on DS9.
No wonder he stayed.
Yeah, this place is so much
find-
better.
I find this quite interesting how like Gul Dukat, who's the head of the Cardassian state, is in the thick of it. It would be like sending down the president of the US into battle with the rest of the military.
Well, he's not the leader of Cardassia. He said he was chief military advisor to the Tapa Council.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
So
Why is the chief military advisor in the fight?
Yeah, he'd be like
Yeah.
Secretary of State or
Or the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Are we sending Mike Pompeo into war? You know, maybe we should, honestly.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of United States war, I wanted to ask you guys, we're kind of busy right now, but just for later, you can ponder the question. Disregarding the United States Department of Defense, how do you feel about pentagons? Specifically in reference to hexagons and squares. Just ponder that over the duration of the war.
Okay, just think about shapes.
So interestingly enough, I was thinking about shapes already because I like Major Kira's phaser because it's like pentagon shaped almost in the handle.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's really interesting. Like I don't know if it's like her personal design or what, but
Yeah, it's just. I mean, this is just going to be a lot of shooting for the next 5 minutes, so I guess we got some time.
Pew 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 pew.
I mean, my.
Oh no, it's too much like Star Wars.
Oh
Ah!
no, we don't have battles. Why aren't people just talking about their feelings? My issue with pentagons is, even though they're regular polygons, they don't feel regular. They don't feel symmetrical, even though they are. Whereas hexagons and squares definitely do. I think pentagons are the inferior shape.
First of all, that's racist. Second of all, I'm wondering why the photon torpedoes here are a different color.
I'm also wondering how the photon torpedoes are coming out of what's clearly just a solid plate of metal with no hole in it.
Yeah, true.
Oh, pentagons can't be tiled evenly. I think that's probably true.
Yeah, that's. Can hexagons be tiled?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Hexagons
Yeah.
are especially used in tiling for, like, tabletop games.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I've played Civ. I can see that.
Is it the D8 that has pentagonal sides? Don't one of them have pentagonal sides?
The D8 has triangular sides. Hang on, I can go get my dice box and I can check to make sure. I don't know where I put it. I haven't played D&D in a while.
They fight like Klingons, then they'll die like Klingons, I think is what is said there.
Okay, but what about, what does it say in Scandinavian?
Oh, the D12 has pentagonal sides. Thank you, Warmonger. Thank you,
The
Warmonger.
D12. Good to know.
Yeah, see, do you see Kira's phaser? How it has like the handle of it?
I'll look next time, but what I was looking at there was how casual she looked about it.
Well, we're shooting Klingons today.
Yeah, a lot of the warrior races have major issues about their battle tactics. The Klingons usually use swords for some reason. The Jem'Hadar tend to run in and try to hit people with their gun. Like, not shoot them with their gun, just physically hit them with the butt of the gun. All the time. These warrior races have issues.
Yeah.
Of course, the two red shirts in the background are completely useless.
Now, whose blood is that on Garrick's face? Is that Garrick's blood? Yeah, probably just regular present-day soldiers could beat the Klingons. Almost certainly.
Yeah, is that going to? Oh, is that a woman beating a Klingon? Oh, that goes against canon. How could Michael Burnham ever do that?
I thought Klingons were so strong.
Yeah, no, she could never. Sorry.
For the Klingons are terrible in fights. They always lose to humans, no matter what.
Yeah.
What is the point of a Klingon? Even Vulcans lose to humans, and they're, like, established as being way stronger.
To beat the crap out of O'Brien.
Yeah, Dax just takes two of them.
Well, she's Dax. She could take on as many as she wanted.
That is true. Yeah. I love finding reasons to bash on the disco bashers.
So, as a Discovery basher,
You disgust me.
Like, it's not the fact that it's like a woman can beat up a Klingon. It's that, at least for the first episode of Discovery, that someone who we've like never heard of, that has no established history of being a resistance fighter or like being a fighter on Kronos or whatever, like Jadzia, can beat a Klingon. Like,
I mean, she was a Starfleet officer and they received combat training.
Yeah, but so did O'Brien, and he got handed by Klingon here.
But O'Brien's not a Starfleet officer. He's not an officer. He never went through the academy. He didn't get that training. He's just an engineer.
That's
He's
true.
a non-commissioned officer. He's still an officer.
But he didn't go through the same training as everyone else here did.
No. Besides, Picard went through training too, and Soren beat his ass.
But then Picard also beats different Klingons in fights.
When did Picard fight a Klingon?
In Redemption, when he goes to see the old Klingon lady. He gets ambushed by a couple and he beats them up. At least beats up one of them. Then the other gets shot by the old lady. Or stabbed.
Redemption is the Civil War two-parter.
Right.
The one that you're thinking of is the one where Worf finds out that his father's being accused of being a traitor. I forget the name of the episode.
Yeah, a seemingly old man just beats up some Klingons too. Klingons are the worst fighters.
Yeah, they are.
Picard also gets helped by an old woman at the end of that fight.
I do find that, if I can say something against Discovery, I do find the redesign of the Batleth really weird. It doesn't look like a weapon. It looks very impractical. Crazy Eyes Gowron? There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that is kind of weird. The Disco Batleth.
Yeah. Gowron won't forget it until a little bit later when they're getting handed by the Dominion and need a new ally.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm over here getting disapproving eyes from the cat.
Why is that?
I don't know. I get disapproving eyes from her often.
Human, give me food.
And Gowron is, of course, going to completely forgive Worf later on. So that's going to be fine, too. This is all going to work itself out. Oh, hey, Morn.
Hello, good.
Worf, I'm not sure about that robe. I don't think that suits you.
Star Trek civilian clothing is one of my favorite things, especially.
Me too. I love looking at civilian
What
clothing.
is? Oh my, terrible. Why do all civilians wear a jumpsuit? No.
I mean, all non-civilians wear a jumpsuit.
Yeah, that's just a thing.
It's the fashion of the time. But then it's a fashion for a long time, because in Enterprise they also wear jumpsuits.
What I want to know is where are the onions on their belts?
Who knows? I guess that is not the fashion of the time. Oh, it's because they wear magnetic belts and onions aren't magnetic. They don't fit.
There we go.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
I think in Discovery and TOS, I don't think they wear jumpsuits. I think those are actual two pieces.
Yeah, TOS definitely.
Well, the new uniforms are jumpsuits, though, aren't they?
The new uniforms might be jumpsuits. Let me get another look at them.
I don't think they are. They don't fit like a jumpsuit.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
Oh yeah, that's not a
Yeah.
jumpsuit. That's a jacket.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not a jacket, it's a pullover.
Yeah, it's two pieces.
I guess that stopped being the fashion of the time.
Yeah.
They got away
Yeah,
from
like,
jumpsuits eventually.
The disco uniforms are two pieces. And
How about those
love how
motion suits, though?
I love how the Section 31 guy is just in a regular suit.
Yep. I maintain that the Enterprise uniforms are the best uniforms, strictly for their practicality. There's
can
so
agree
many
with that.
pockets and zippers.
They do look more like a uniform that you would wear under those
Like it-
circumstances.
Yeah.
Like you could see an actual military person wearing it. That's-
Okay, still in the TNG uniform for... Oh no, that's DS9 uniform.
Yeah.
He changed. Strategic operations. I guess that's the fancy station word for tactical.
He does. He does the shooting. Pew pew.
Is he still a lieutenant commander here, or does he get full commander out of this?
Well,
He is
Lieutenant
currently
Commander.
LT right now.
Wow, you all talked over each other.
He's lieutenant commander the whole time.
Okay. He does get full commander at some point. I don't know if it's on screen.
I think he does. I think he's a
Not-
commander by the time he kills that freighter.
It does happen that they refer to lieutenant commanders as commanders if there are lieutenants in the room or they're the highest ranking officer.
Yeah. He doesn't make full commander in DS9.
You
You know what? I'm gonna load up season 7 after this and check.
Mark has the
Why aren't you saying lieutenant?
because they say lieutenant in Star Trek.
I'm just making
Okay.
fun of you.
Yeah.
How does lieutenant even supposed to work? There's no F in there. There's no PH. Where's the F sound?
From nowhere. It's just how old British people say it. I don't know. I have no idea. Worf never makes commander full commander anyway.
Does he not? Okay.
He does not.
He does become a captain eventually, though.
Not on screen.
On screen, yes.
Not
That
on
happens.
screen, but
No, it is on screen.
is it when?
In that parallel universe episode.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. He's a
Oh, geez. In the mirror universe, he's the regent. He's like the high
Oh,
emperor
yeah.
of the alliance.
Fancy. But yes, in the book, he makes captain.
okay, real captain that time.
Yeah, don't most of them like main cast make captain in the books?
I know
Mhm.
Esri makes captain in the books.
Which is the most ridiculous thing ever.
The counselor
that's
captain.
So bad. Yeah.
I don't know. That doesn't seem completely outside the realm of possibility.
Beverly Crusher was a captain as a chief medical officer.
Troy was
That-
a full commander, which
So-
is
Beverly Crusher being captain makes so much more sense because she's already has command duties. Wasn't Beverly Crusher also the director of Starfleet Medical at some point?
Yeah,
And
for a
for-
little bit there. Yeah, she did go back to Starfleet Medical.
Yeah. So for her to be a
She-
captain of a medical ship makes perfect sense. But
She had the
Esri,
night crew also was Beverly.
yeah, but Esri is someone who is like a counselor and gets space sick and all of this other stuff. It just doesn't point towards a long career in Starfleet. It just doesn't to me, anyway.
I don't know if we see Deanna be interested in actually taking command. It doesn't seem like too much of a stretch for Esri to be interested in it as well. Not only that, but she's not just Esri. She's also Esri Dax, which means her career could go in any number of directions after Deep Space Nine. We only see her for roughly a year.
yeah. That strikes me as something like Jadzia would have influenced to make her want to go command. I can't remember why. They do give an explanation why she goes command, but I'm guessing Jadzia has something to do with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
she-
just
Esri becomes in the book. She becomes a captain post Dominion War during the Borg invasion. So that's they may just not have had enough captains during the Borg invasion. I don't know.
I can imagine her making it to the rank of captain
But not in command of a ship.
of a ship. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. To me, that that just doesn't.
Was it the
Doesn't flow.
Aventura?
The Aventine.
Aventine, thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna unblur the screen here. Oh, right. It's still weirdly zoomed in because we were looking at the cat before.
Hello,
on.
Wolf's Mouth.
God, I can't get it to move.
Worf's face.
Why won't it? Here's season 7 Worf. It's hard to see, but you can see he is Lieutenant Commander.
Oh, I believe you.
Just making sure. Just
I
verify.
Thought he was. I thought he made it to full commander off screen somewhere, but I guess that never happens.
Let me actually fix this because this.
I also found a screenshot of him in Nemesis, which is after Deep Space Nine, I believe.
Yes, it is.
And he's still a lieutenant commander in that screenshot.
Okay, the unblur is now working correctly. Now, we have one more thing to watch before we start the next episode.
Oh,
I'm
the
going to
next
be...
one's gonna kill us.
Yeah. I'm going to be putting that through to the stream. So, yeah. You might want to mute Discord. You can still talk on Discord, but you might want to deafen.
Read the analytical scene almost as
Here's
myself,
Robert O'Reilly
with a
explaining
couple of
Gowron's
head
eyes.
twists and stuff.
Let
And
me
they
know
were
how the
totally
volume
bored
is,
by
if
that.
it's too loud or too
I
quiet.
could see there were like 11 people watching. And then I went, well, I guess I'm going to have to wake them up on the next one. And what I did was I just turned around and I just went. Hurry up! And you could see everybody just backing off, and then I went crazy. And Frakes sort of looked at me, and we peeled a few people off the ceilings. And I think he understood what I was doing with the character. I was making him a thinking, humorous, crazy, a lot of dimensions, not just one dimension with it. And when we got to the set, he said, I want you to do the eyes thing. And I didn't know what he was talking about, but when I go like this, or you know, it's like, if I'm doing it right, you triangulate light. And that's what he was seeing. And when I saw it on film, I went, Frakes, you know what you're doing.
There we go. That is the origin of Gowron's eyes. The people weren't totally into the audition. They were kind of falling asleep. And then he just turned into Gowron. And it was done. He's just Gowron. Alright, now we can start the timer for the next episode, which is going to be The Visitor. That's going to be the sad episode.
I'm a man. I can do this.
Everyone get your onions ready.
Don't put them on your belts. That's not the fashion of the time. I should probably queue myself up, because I'm still on Season 7. It seems like a good idea.
I forgot all about that.
Alright, now I'm queued up to 0 on The Visitor. The Visitor, who is, you know, the main character is going to be Tony Todd as Jake Sisko. Tony Todd, who also plays Kern. And some other stuff, but mostly Kern. Kern, son of Moog. Everyone press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, it has begun. Yeah, anytime I see Tony Todd in something, or hear him as a voice actor, I can't think of that character as the character, it's just Tony Todd. It's just Tony Todd. Oh, he has the baseball. Though this baseball isn't signed, because of course it isn't. They never got to that point. Original
Yeah, this
Cisco?
DS9 has a very different future.
Yeah, this is the episode where we learned that Cisco is totally responsible for the Dominion War. It was entirely his fault. She's very familiar. I'm gonna look up who that actress is. I swear I've seen her in some other stuff.
Rachel Robinson is the name.
She plays Melanie. Okay, she's in basically nothing. Never mind.
In he's such a girl, loser, and can't be heaven. Not much.
Judging Amy, also. She was in an episode of ER. And, okay, most importantly, she was in an episode of the show Ryan's Hope. I've never seen it, but given its name, maybe I should watch it. IMDb says it as The Trials and Tribulations of the Ryans, an Irish-American family in New York City.
A 2000 episode soap. Have fun.
It was also in 1976, so she must have been like 8.
Yeah, I mean,
It doesn't say what year she was born in her bio on IMDb, though.
okay, we're all at the same place.
Oh, congratulations, Tony. You have a stalker now. Only 2 books. Well, I guess he's been busy with, other plot-relevant stuff. I don't know about that, Tony. Do you think there's a service in Star Trek where people can erase their, most recent memory engrams to relive stuff?
Spoilers.
What do you mean spoilers? That's a recurrent plot point. Happens all the time.
Specifically in relation to Tony Todd?
I hadn't actually made that connection. I was just thinking about, like, the Nantuckans and Enterprise when they mess with Degra. But yes, also in reference to Tony Todd. Well, Tony's had his own obsession to deal with, so he had to give it up. So if Tony wasn't dying in this episode, would this lady have just continued stalking him and showing up all the time, following him everywhere?
Or in the alternate, if she was a day late or whatever, then she would
Yeah.
have just found him dead.
Does this timeline continue?
I like to think that this timeline does continue, but only because I want it to.
Why do you want it to? Because Tony Todd is dead? What do you have against Tony Todd?
No, more for Melanie's sake, actually.
And Herr Deutschland is still muted, though I assume he would know that by now, if it wasn't intentional. But that's fine, you don't have to be in the Discord. If anyone else wants to join the Discord, there's a link to it in the description, and it's open to anyone. Just, wear headphones, ideally.
Dum, dum, dum.
Everyone,
Once again, do not skip the intro.
skip intro in 5,
No.
4.
No, stop that.
Shut up, DB.
Stop that.
Don't you make me report you to the medical board. I'm gonna tell them you told people to skip the intro.
It's immediately taking my license away.
We'll send you a sternly worded letter. Yes. Words.
Very sternly worded. You're gonna be so embarrassed.
It's supposed to be the new title sequence.
Oh, does it say Alexander Siddiq now? It probably does. I wasn't watching. Have we seen Alexander Siddiq yet?
What did it say before?
Siddiq El Tahil. No, Siddiq El Fadil is what it said previously. And then he changed it later to Alexander Siddiq because nobody could pronounce Siddiq. So it's just Alexander. Not legally change it, just for a like a show title. There it is, Alexander Siddiq as Dr. Bashir.
Screen/artist name.
Yeah, screen name, that's the word I was looking for. It's a lot easier to pronounce Alexander, apparently. Everyone knows how to say that.
Yeah.
And when I first started talking about Siddiq's name, I didn't know it was pronounced Siddiq. I thought it was Siddiq. But no. Emphasis on the second syllable. I think they did a pretty good job with the old person makeup for Tony.
Yeah.
Usually they go massively overboard and make people look like they're 200 years old.
I actually think Dax's old makeup later on in this episode is pretty good too. Bashir's is once again not, but
yeah, I'm looking at the preview of that. Yeah, Bashir doesn't look so hot. And eventually we'll be able to see regular Tony Todd with no makeup other than, the usual for lighting makeup. That is not Tony Todd. That's someone else. Tony Todd is not that young.
Can't they just throw youth makeup, anti-aging cream?
Ah, of course.
That's how I love that.
Well, that's a concerning statement given the context of the rest of the episode. You'll never forgive yourself if you miss it.
I've come to terms with it.
Come to terms with that you missed it?
Yeah, I wasn't watching.
Okay. Has Sirach always had that mole on his eyelid?
Yes.
Yep.
I think we've talked about that before, actually.
in fact, he still does.
I can imagine that's a thing that just disappears.
Well, he could have gotten it removed.
That's true.
But it's so distinctive.
Well, it might not have been his choice. Sometimes moles like that develop into cancer. So,
Oh.
but he still has it, so that didn't happen.
I mean, I'm looking at Jake's shirt now. It's okay. It's not great.
He always wears
I think it was-
shirts like that.
Yeah, I think it was right around this time that he got the infamous award of worst dressed on television in TV Guide.
I mean, he was dressed real bad. Yeah. He had like a variant of a rainbow sweater, except it was somehow worse than the rainbow sweater.
Yeah. Well, before he started wearing these shirts like this, he was actually still in the full onesie, which was just yikes.
Yeah.
Also, there's a story in the documentary. Well, it's in the deleted scenes of the documentary, actually, where they had to instruct him to arrange himself in a specific way because something was too obvious in the onesie.
that never seemed to be an issue in TNG. They just kept that in.
Yeah.
As we
How
learned
old-
yesterday with the energy being dude.
And how old would Chirag Lofton have been while filming this? I mean, if he was a minor. He might have
Yeah, at
been
the
minor.
time.
He was like 13 when the show started, I think.
Well, he's
Yes, I mean,
he's 18 right now, and we're in season 4.
okay.
So,
So
yeah,
if it
like
was
14.
if it was earlier on and a certain thing was showing, that would be inappropriate for a minor, I guess. Maybe why
Oh,
distinction between him and TNG.
Left Mark.
He's gone.
he's gone.
Skal du ikke snakke så højt? Matt?
Other people heal. Tony Todd did not heal. Tony Todd obsessed for the next 70 years.
More like 50 years, but
Was it the next 100 years? Because aren't there 2 more inversions in this plot?
only one.
Oh, there's only one.
His one chance to save his father. And it's probably going to work, right? It's going to be able to fix it. Oh, hey, Morn. I like that the subtitles say Old Jake. Do they say Young Jake when Sarah Lofton talks? Is it going to say regular Jake when middle-aged Tony Todd talks? Okay, this is actually kind of weird.
Oh, hi, Morn.
Hey, Morn. Wait, what are you doing, Nog? What happened to the academy? What's Nog doing?
Maybe he's on break and he's just helping out while he's on break.
Maybe.
Because, like, later in the episode, he's clearly in Starfleet.
I mean, they already had that I don't want to end up like my father scene, right?
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Okay, so
In fact, I think Nog is off the show for a bit and while he's at the academy. We haven't seen him. Oh, his
Yeah,
plans were thinking about like moping around for the next month or 50 years or so.
Oh, he hasn't even gone to the academy yet. When does that happen? Oh, that happens in 4 more episodes when he goes to Earth.
Okay. Oh, right, he has the Kima site in the shuttle.
Yeah.
And that leads to all kinds of problems. Chemosite, which is the substance used in the Xindi Death Star. Well, that's... yeah. That's kind of traumatic.
Once you see the rest of this episode, give a second to think about how this must have seemed to Cisco. Because, like, up until near the end... when
Ben
they had the
Sisko?
inversion- Ben Sisko, yes.
Okay.
Up until the end, when they were, like, working on it during the inversion, each one of these events must have happened rapid fire, one right after the other to
Yeah.
him.
And I guess in this timeline, the prophets just didn't care about him.
Well, the prophets are non-linear, so they're probably like, he's gonna screw around in this other timeline for a little while, but he'll be back.
Yeah, it'll work itself out.
yeah, Jake Sisko isn't of Bajor, so who cares?
Triangle ship. Bottom left. Triangle.
Bingo.
Big number.
Counter goes up to 15.
What's the special thing about the triangle ship?
I love that ship. It's a very, very common reuse of that ship model. Not just for Bajorans, but across a whole bunch of species. So we're counting how many times it shows up.
The Bajorans were in a pact with the Cardassians. That's kind of extreme.
Yeah.
Get on one of the ships, Jake. There you go. Thank you, Worf.
Was that one Pip on Worf?
No, I think that's still Lieutenant Commander. He has the 2 gold and 1 black.
Yeah. He's just far away, I guess.
Yeah, the contrast is real bad on these SD versions. It's hard to see the gold ones.
I like how you can see that that's clearly a sheet past the window. And it's not quite black, it's more of a gray. A dark gray, at least.
He's a civilian, isn't he?
He is.
How does...
She can just ban him from the stations, like, just trespass him.
Guess that's true.
Jake, you could go to Earth. It's probably not helping to stay here where you see everything is a part of him. So the thing with the Dominion, in this timeline, the Dominion War just doesn't happen. With no Cisco, there's no Dominion War.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I think it's not just Cisco. Like, obviously, he's a key component. But it's also the fact that later on, the station gets taken over by the Klingons. And the Klingons don't care about going to explore the Gamma Quadrant. So, like, the Dominion was not threatened by them.
That's true. Yeah.
And they actually, like, say that later on in the episode.
Okay.
They're like, this is the first, like, they let a Federation ship go through the wormhole, and it was the first one in, like, 20 years.
So yeah, Cisco, or Ben, I guess we should call him Ben, because this is going to get confusing. Ben here just said it feels like it was a few minutes ago he was on the Defiant, so he's not experiencing the passage of time when he's gone. So yeah, just complete rapid fire, everything happening. He's doing awful. Yeah, that's not true. Yeah, it matters that I'm here now, he says as he's very shortly not going to be there. So, if that's what matters, I'm not sure that's helping. Nope, he's gone. See, the issue with this kind of episode for a watch along is you just get engrossed in the episode and it's hard to actually talk about it.
Yeah.
You just get into actually watching it.
On the other hand, there's really not a lot to say either.
There's not much to riff off. It's pretty good.
Hang on. Tony Todd doesn't have an eyelid mole. They didn't put that on him. I guess old Jake, it turned into a cancerous thing and they had to remove it.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Or maybe it looks like he has two eyelids right there because his skin flaps are kind of falling down over his eye. Maybe it's just hidden. His old person skin flaps. Unfortunately, we don't have Mammoth here, or he could exposit about skin flaps. So we just have to go with what we know.
I don't think Mammoth. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but my guess is he's not old enough to have to worry about sagging skin flaps over his eyes yet.
No, what do you mean? He's like 200 years old. He's not putting on a bit. He's actually like from the Spanish-American War.
What do you think of his bit?
It's fine. He can do a bit if he wants. As long as he doesn't evolve into, like, old racist old man. Just a regular old man is okay.
I don't know how much of a bit he's putting on either, because like I get the sense when he talks, he's not like struggling to keep that voice up. It sounds like it's at least somewhat close to his actual voice.
It's practiced.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice to do a good voice.
Oh, he's wearing... What is he wearing there? It's not rainbow exactly.
Oh, 2 more triangle ships.
Were the...
We only credit one per episode, though.
Yeah. And we can credit multiple, it's just an issue of, is it the same ship? As long as...
Well,
it has to be
that was
multiple
clearly-
unique ships.
That was clearly weeks later from the other shot, so like those were. I mean, one of them may have been the same ship, but we don't know.
Maybe Ben's sister took over the restaurant. His sister we never meet, and only mention like twice.
Yeah, she would like that Cisco's restaurant reference.
Alright, are the subtitles gonna... How are the subtitles gonna describe this Cisco? Because we've had old Cisco, or old Jake, and Jake. The subtitles didn't specify, it just said his line.
What's his rank here?
Captain,
He looks
I think.
commander.
He's a commander here.
Commander, 3 pips.
I could. Oh yeah, that's full commander. Yeah.
Keep doing that, you'll get a spaceship named after you.
He's higher rank than Worf. Good for him. In what way? Like on the inside, or I assume on the outside it looks the same.
Maybe, maybe not.
He's talking about his appearance.
Quark got a moon? He what?
What?
Did he start running weapons? How did he get his own moon?
That is how you get. That is how you get a moon.
I mean, there's no reason to think that Gala wouldn't still be interested in him later on.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's true.
The Beitar Prize. Oh,
in
he's not doing so
Starfleet.
hot. So yeah, we don't see much of real Nog, other past Ensign, but like Mirror Universe Nog or alternate universe Nog, not Mirror. That's something else. He's advancing through the ranks pretty quick.
You mean
So
Beta?
in addition to just being the first Ferengi in Starfleet, based on his advancement, maybe he's actually doing some pretty important stuff. Enough that he gets a USS Nog 1,000 years later. Or 800 years.
That'd actually be interesting to see what he did that made him so important.
Other than being the first Ferengi.
True.
That might be enough on its own.
Yeah.
Well, if we were to go with the season 8 that they came up with for the documentary, he basically just dies.
Yeah. Oh, you almost had a stable life there, Jake. Now you're gonna break down again for another 20 years.
True.
Yeah, that's real Tony Todd, how old he actually is, as of this show, as of filming.
Yeah,
This
Jake,
is what-
I think, is supposed to be like 37 at this point, 38, something like that.
So this is what Kern looks like without makeup. Or minimal makeup, just show makeup.
I don't know what you're saying, but it doesn't sound like it's part of canon.
Well, it's part of real life. I just noticed that his wife is
you can't
Bajoran.
say
I
that.
hadn't noticed that before. Surely as soon as they can is immediately, because they have transporters. What else are they doing?
I don't even know how to take that.
Oh, those books have... They have screens on the front. Oh, that's weird. I don't think those are pictures. Those are actually displays.
That would be kind of interesting, actually. So you have like the pages of the book, and then you have some kind of interactive biography or whatever.
I mean, I was about to make a deriding comment about needing to charge your book, but given the fact that I just ordered an e-reader, I don't think I can say that.
Yeah.
So far, I've never had to charge a book. So how many of y'all charge your books? How long do you have to keep your books plugged in?
I've had a Kindle for a long time, so I have charged books many times.
How's the Kindle? Which one?
So I've had two or three Kindles, I think. I'm on my third one, I think, and it is a Kindle Voyage, which they don't even make anymore.
Okay. The one I ordered is a Kindle Paperwhite, which hopefully is good.
That's the standard one. I know a lot of my friends have them, and they like them.
Okay. Good, good.
I do my reading on the iPad, so that's charge every day.
I'm down to my last, technically 2 books, or 2 volumes of one book that are physical. I guess I could buy more physical books, but nah.
I still have plenty of physical books, like collector stuff as well.
Oh, I have them. I have books. It's just I've read all the ones except the last 2. So now I'm just transitioning to any new books I get will be digital. Mostly because, oh my god, I do not want to move all these books if I need to move.
Okay, there he said when he turned 37, he went back to study subspace mechanics. So he was like maybe 30, 35, 36 in the last scene.
Okay. I assume that's how old Tony Todd actually was.
Probably, or close.
Yeah. Oh, good. Good. Killed your relationship. So it looks like real life Tony Todd is currently, as of 2021, 66 years old.
Wow.
This is the 90s, so nearly 30 years ago.
How many timelines does Star Trek have? It's completely unclear. Because, I mean, sometimes timelines just cease to exist, and sometimes they continue on with changes.
Is
I've
that a
no
Romulan?
idea. Probably.
He's got the Vulcan ball cut thing.
Oh, it's Old Nog.
That is Captain Nog.
So he would have been 41 when they filmed this episode.
Okay.
And Dax only made Commander.
So the official timelines for Star Trek, the ones that we know for certain still exist, I think there's only two, the Kelvin timeline and the Prime timeline. But yeah, in
Well,
terms
if
of
we wanna-
ones that have ever existed.
If we want to count how many there are literally infinite because of all the enterprises that showed up in parallels.
Yeah, there's all those timelines. There's the timeline where the Federation lost to the Borg, and the Borg is everywhere. The Federation's gone. Riker grew a very long beard.
Are these the same uniforms that they used in All Good Things in the future?
Yes, they are.
I think so.
Yep.
Of course,
And
there's
it's
this
the same-
timeline.
It is a very close or almost the same communicator that they used in Picard.
There's the timeline that exists briefly in past tense, where the Federation, or at least humans, stop existing for a bit until they fix it.
Yep.
No, I don't have a long enough crazy beard. My beard's only like just over a centimeter long, so I can't be a crazy old man. I need to grow it out if I want to do that.
You can just be an old man.
Just a regular, boring old man.
Yep.
It is specifically 1.2 centimeters, if you are curious.
Oh yeah, I use a 12 millimeter as well.
Oh, hey. 12 millimeter is... Well, I say it's the best, but it's really just the size that my thing came with.
I have an adjustable, but it's like the one that looks good now, especially because I can't, get a haircut.
Okay.
I keep mine to about half a centimeter.
That's fair. I actually did buy a separate adjustable one because I wanted it to be slightly longer, but the adjustable one I bought is just awful. Like the guard on it is really weirdly designed. It doesn't actually pull the hair up, so it doesn't actually cut anything. It's just trash. Don't go for off-brand. Just stick with wall. Wait, this isn't supposed to be the prophets, is it? This is just a subspace domain.
Yeah. A subspace domain with a floor they can walk on.
But why are we using the prophet effect? This is a main plot point. Why are we using...
This is also the thing where Q and Picard go after he dies, so it's I think just
Yeah.
a general space beyond space thing.
I get that Ben is upset that Jake is basically living his life for rescuing him, but also Jake got his doctorate in subspace mechanics. That's something to be proud of too.
Yeah. But he's not going to use it to do anything to actually contribute to society.
Yeah, if you get your doctorate in a singular obsession, it's still an obsession.
Fair enough.
And now that this doesn't work, his life is just pretty much over. Mentally.
I mean, sort of. It does break the obsession for a while. Because he does go back to writing.
And back to old Jake.
He hasn't changed much since he was young.
New stories.
We need more of those.
That's what she's looking for. Well, he's been busy looking for his dead dad, so he's got work to do. I mean, look at him,
Gonna
Melanie.
need a time transplant.
So, if Jake died, I don't... Let me rephrase. If Jake was an organ donor, would some random person out there in the world just start getting Ben Sisko showing up occasionally?
It's probably connected like to Jake's essence or whatever.
I guess souls are kind of a thing in Star Trek.
Yeah, whatever word they want to attach to it.
I don't think
Patras.
they have organ donors anymore.
I guess there's no need.
They can
But I mean,
replicate
the
it.
darker question is: so he says if he dies while they're separated, then Ben Sisko would just end up drifting through subspace. So I don't know why him being alive matters, but apparently it does. But if it didn't, can you think about how horrifying it would be? Like the next time Sisko materialized, he'd basically land right on top of Jake inside of a coffin somewhere.
Oh, good.
Oh god.
It'd just be him buried alive.
Forever and ever and ever.
Well, I mean, he would die eventually.
Yeah, but Cisco would only age like 3 minutes at a time.
Yeah,
And
but
the time jumps keep getting longer and longer by decades.
we don't think they're any longer for Sisko. So, like, even though it would be decades, he would essentially end up suffocated pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know which is worse though. Like, if he's drifting through subspace, eventually he just starves to death. Or,
I mean, I was just thinking, like, does Sisko live long enough that eventually he just materializes in deep space or, like, inside the sun because it's been engulfed?
Or if they spread his ashes in a river or something, does he just appear underwater?
Yes.
Hey, is that the same top that Inabrantain wore in the Dies cast or whatever?
Maybe.
It kind of looks like it.
Well, let me look up Inabrantain.
Daddy Garrick.
No, it's a different thing.
Okay. It's just the old man sweater.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that actor's build is very different from Tony Todd's.
I mean, so even if it was the same, I think it would still work because Inabrantain's was open by like 2 feet in the front, and it's closed around Jake. So I think that could be okay. Because Jake's a lot thinner. You just close it. Yeah, an Auburn Tane was a big fella.
Yeah.
And you didn't set an alarm, Jake? What if he just watched you sleep? He took a cyanide pill.
Oh no, if it was cyanide, he would have been dead a long time ago already.
He took a space cyanide pill. It's plot activated. It's probably better for Melanie, honestly, if this timeline is erased, because in the real timeline, Jake's probably going to publish way, way more stories. She gets a lot more to work with.
And billions more people die.
I mean, yeah, but what about Melanie's writing, though?
Yeah, but what we
Those-
don't know is that Melanie is probably the granddaughter of someone who had to evacuate DS9. And so she doesn't even exist in the regular timeline.
Maybe. So if he doesn't dodge it, is then he just linked to Jake's corpse?
Or does
I'm
his
more
bishop
thinking he
happen
does
again?
dodge it. The beam hits some piece of equipment, and so every 20 years, that piece of equipment just reappears on the ship.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't get you.
A second what, Jake? Oh, okay. Okay, you did not get out of the way in time. That thing was already going by the time you turned around. It just missed. He
What
did
we're
not
seeing
dodge
is
that.
that he's actually gone through the entire loop all over again.
Could have done it hundreds or thousands of times. Though I guess Cisco, or I guess Ben would have been aware of it. Even if Jake wasn't.
Jake, let me introduce you to a woman called Karina.
Wait, who's Karina? That sounds familiar, but I can't
She's
place
a
it.
total tomboy.
That was his wife.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I think they might get along. So the next episode, you'll all be glad to know, we should have a lot more to talk about. A lot more is going to actually happen minute to minute. It's going to be Hippocratic Oath, all about the Gem Hadar. And they're a very action-oriented people.
O'Brien was right. Just saying.
Well, that's the one with. Okay. Yeah. Just going to remember which one it is.
If
It's the one with the Gem Hadar who wants to get off the drug.
Yeah.
Yeah, O'Brien was right.
And he develops a cult.
O'Brien was right. Like,
So
the idea of freeing the Jem'Hadar, it might have been good.
It would have been, but I don't think it actually would have worked. Based on the circumstances that they describe later on about it being a genetic defect in that one Jem'Hadar.
Well, so at the end of the episode, they kind of leave it ambiguous because Bashir is like, wait, I've actually got something here for a little bit.
But they never explain it.
Yeah, it never goes that very far because O'Brien shoots it.
Oh, good job, O'Brien.
Yeah.
Then again, there's also the Jem'Hadar who actively want to rebel against the Dominion. And if they do that, it's implied they're, well, it's not implied, it's outright stated. They're just going to go rampaging across the galaxy, killing everyone.
Yeah, that's true too.
Maybe we should not save the Jem'Hadar.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, how do you kidnap someone and hold them hostage to help you?
Why do you want to know the answer to that question?
That's just not a way that you get someone to help you. And that doesn't prove your humanity, to use a word.
That seems to work.
Seems to.
Yes. Oh, O'Brien and Bashir both have valid points, I think. They both have... It's fair for both of them. I don't remember this Jem'Hadar's name now, but we're going to be figuring that out. The only Jem'Hadar whose name I remember is Ramataclan. Ramataclan was the Jem'Hadar second or third from Rocks and Shoals.
Yeah.
I want to say his name is Garanagar.
Every 10 seconds.
That sounds right.
Away.
And everyone press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Or is it first Talak Talan?
Well, no, there's no rank. Not in this episode, anyway.
First Talon might be the Jem'Hadar from...
You say there's no rank, but that's only what we wish there was.
From the Gateway episode.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe,
So
I don't
the guy-
remember, but if he has a rank.
The guy who plays Garanagar is also like 4 other roles in Star Trek. He played Tosk in an early DS9 episode.
Oh, yeah, that's
He
the same
was-
guy then.
He was Sub-Commander Navek in Face of the Enemy, who was Deanna's like coach when she was pretending to be a Romulan. He played a random ensign that's never named on screen in Voyager in the premiere. And he plays General Dolim in Enterprise, who is the reptilian general for the Zindi.
Okay. That was Commander Dolam, I think his name is.
Oh, is he commander or general? I thought he was a general, but he might be a commander.
Yeah, Commander Dolam.
Yeah,
I was doing some chores yesterday, and I had some earbuds in, listening to the Star Trek Zindi arc.
And
I'm almost done with it.
I watched it earlier this year.
He's always plotting something. So originally we kept Quark on the station to be a community leader, Sisko said. Basically, we just needed at least one civilian business on the promenade. Why do we still keep him around? Other than he's a main character.
Well, in this episode, where Worf can't, where Worf proves that he can't leave behind his security habits, it's revealed that Quark is actually working with Odo in this episode to bust open a smuggling ring.
Only rarely, though. I mean, that happens this time, and then I think like one other time it happens.
I mean, the other thing is
But
that
still-
Sisko did ask Quark to make a sacrifice to stay there. And to be like, okay, you're a problem, we're just going to kick you off would be kind of rude, especially since they really can never pin anything directly on him. At least not anything explicitly criminal.
Oh, this is
yeah,
a significant moment in the Bashir-O'Brien relationship. Why can't she be more like you, Dr. Bashir? But he can't bring himself to say it.
oh, he wants her to be a man.
Specifically, she wants her to be more like Dr. Bashir, because Dr. Bashir is understanding and interacts with his hobbies.
It doesn't disappear for 6 months to a year every 2 weeks.
Right. To be fair, I think that was largely because Rosalind Chow was getting a lot of work outside of Deep Space Nine.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally. There's
was
an
she?
absolute reason, but
Also, it was O'Brien who convinced her to go on those trips.
So weird, the O'Brien's relationship, Miles and Keiko, it just doesn't gel for me.
And it looks like we've got Mammoth and in YouTube. Mammoth, you missed Wave the Warrior and the Visitor. And we really missed doing the Visitor because we needed some input on what being an old man is like.
Specifically, old man skin flaps over your eyes.
Yeah, what's going on with the skin flaps?
he was busy marching over the wilderness like a mammoth.
It occurs to me I don't actually know any old men in real life. All the old men that I did know are dead. Interesting. Other than Mr. Mammoth, of course.
My dad is in his 70s, so I think that constitutes an old man.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Not that you know my dad, I'm just saying that I know my dad.
Yes.
Everyone knows your dad. It's famous.
Yeah, Michael. I know all about your family, Michael.
He's at Michael's dad on Twitter. Don't you follow him?
He does have a Twitter.
Mammoth, I have in fact removed a mailbox by myself. But my mailbox is it's hung up by 2 screws on next to my door. So it's pretty easy to remove. You just lift it up a couple inches. It's very simple. Yeah, that is 100% Tosk. And another long intro. If anyone else would care to join the voice chat and Discord, link to that in the description. It's open to everyone, yada, yada, yada.
Except you. And you know who you are.
Here's the schedule for those who don't know. Yeah, I'm just not sold on pentagons as a shape. I don't think they're aesthetically pleasing. I wouldn't use them. I wouldn't use them unless I strictly needed to.
Wait, where'd the Pentagon stuff come from?
I just don't like pentagons. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but why are we talking about it now?
Because I mean, nothing else is happening.
Oh, okay.
So it was built the way it was because it was planned to be bordered by 5 roads. So there used to be 5 roads there.
You're talking about the Pentagon.
You're talking about the Pentagon, yeah. So there used to be 5 roads there, so I guess they're sliding it in.
But they could have just included one more road and had hexagon. We could have had the hexagon, and hexagons are so much better. Hexagons actually look like regular polygons. They feel like regular polygons. And the most important thing about a polygon is that it's regular.
That it's one-sided?
A polygon literally cannot be one-sided.
That'd be a monogon. Which sounds like a Jem'Hadar name.
So according to Live Science, it was originally built to fit on a tract of land with borders on 5 sides. In the end, it was built somewhere else, but they'd already designed it. They couldn't figure out how to add another side.
Yeah.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Have we talked about Talok-Talon? Who's Talok-Talon? Oh, he was the guy from the Gateway episode, isn't he? Yes.
No, Talakalon was the first Jem'Hadar we met, I think. He was the one that was holding Cisco and Quark prisoner.
Okay. I mean, there might be different classes of runabouts, but I think the only runabout we hear about is the Danube class runabout. There's a lot of different shuttlecraft, but the shuttlecraft are trash. They don't even have warp drive.
I like the shuttles that are pretending to have warp cores.
Yeah, runabouts have them.
Oh, there's Renee Echeverria. Did Harry Kim develop another class of runabout? I don't remember that happening. I mean, I remember the Delta Flyer, if that counts.
So it's a modification of the Danube class, but it does happen in another alternate timeline episode, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Oh, you may want to reset the screen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that the alternate reality where Voyager crashes into the ice planet and everyone dies?
No. So it happens very early on in Voyager's run. Harry Kim gets an episode where he suddenly wakes up in his old Earth apartment next to his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Libby,
like,
in fact.
What is going on? And then vaguely racist guy with weird accents shows up and is apparently his guardian from another species who's just sort of watching to make sure that he's okay.
I did not follow that at all.
I mean, that's Voyager for you. It's hard to follow.
Right. Yeah.
You guys keep telling these stories, and it's like, well,
Oh,
part of
this is
the
that same
story
cave.
isn't- Yeah.
Hello there.
Look at that ledge. You guys recognize that ledge?
Look at those spotlights shooting right up.
We've been
That's a
over.
ledge.
Star Trek only uses one cave. There's only one cave that exists in the universe.
Yes, and we always have to point it out whenever we see it.
Yeah.
It's the most important cave. I don't know what's happening in the show right now. I'm just looking at the cave.
Well, they're talking about escape.
Escape.
Spelled
I am
just like escape.
Lar, son of Gar, leader of the planet Omicron Persei 8.
We never really get to see old man's real voice.
What do you mean? This is his real voice.
It's all what you want to believe, son. Reality is what you make of it. It's all a matter of perspective.
If he ever came on the show with his real voice, we'd have to get him to fill in a whole backstory, and all the fans would have to bitch about it the whole time.
Mammoth actually done something like this, and he's a really nice guy.
We're gonna go on such a great adventure. Let me tell you right now, it's gonna be great. Oh boy.
The whole Simpsons. I need to talk to my manager.
Freaking, there you go. I just talked in my normal voice, and y'all didn't react.
Hello, boy. We're going on an adventure.
That doesn't sound like an old man.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's right. I'm really 5 years old. Little Timmy from down the street playing with his yo-yo and beating the barrel ring with a stick.
That's
So-
what we get to do nowadays.
Whoever it is that just joined Discord and invited me to a call, if you want to join the voice chat, you need to go on the community watch along channel, which is in the description, and then click on the watch along voice chat channel. You'll see a bunch of people in it.
Oh, this is the one where they're like, I have cured myself. We must cure our people.
Yep.
I'm sure it's going to work out great. They're totally going to cure it.
I feel like this, what are they called again? I can't remember what they're called. I'm blinking.
Jem'Hadar? Julian Bashir?
Jem'Hadar. Yes, these Julian Bashir species, they're addicted to Jem'Hadar. So in the Deep Space documentary, they talked about, What if they brought it back and the idea was, the Bajorans are converting Jem'Hadar? I like to think this is like the first Jem'Hadar who converts to Bajoran.
Well, they did at one point try to make a Jem'Hadar into just a regular person on the station. It didn't work out so hot, but they tried. God, he looks so intense with everything he says.
But
He's also got crazy eyes. He has crazy eyes, but not Gowron eyes. Different kind of crazy. I think it's also that Garanagar's mouth is always slightly open.
I'm having a senior's moment. I have you know that my senior's moment was back in 1987 when me and a very old Gerald Ford decided to play a game of tic-tac-toe.
Who won?
I don't remember because we had to end the game because while trying to remember the name of the game, I said something accidentally racist.
I just want to verify that this is in fact Commander Dolam.
It is.
Okay.
It's just Gowron. It's alternate Gowron. I don't think we've seen him blink.
We had this conversation earlier where nobody blinks in makeup.
So
Gowron literally never blinks. Worf very rarely blinks.
But who'd win in the staring contest? This guy or Gowron?
Gowron.
Gowron.
Now I'm just watching Garanagar to see if he ever blinks once.
No, Garanagar, Jem'Hadar don't eat.
I mean, he needs to because he doesn't have white. He needs something to sustain him.
Yeah, but he said we've eaten the same food.
But Goranagar must have went through the same phase of them. I mean, he was just forced to live without the white. He had no choice. So I mean,
yes,
I guess if they just go on enough time, they will be okay.
Well, that's the idea. Unfortunately, Garanagar's premise is slightly flawed, as we're going to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, his tactics are also very flawed.
So those spikes around the Jem'Hadar's head, are those decorative spikes, or could they actually use those to hurt someone as a warrior race? Do they just jam their head into people?
I think it's more like the dinosaur with the stone head, where they're just supposed to run into them and break other people's bones with their hard heads.
That's
Are
what I
those-
was. Well,
Do you
that's
think they really
exactly what I
grow
was gonna
those
say.
horns, or they have to have them like added as they're reaching puberty?
Oh, we've seen like one of them grow up. They're born with those. Well, no, they grow in.
Yeah, when the kid was a very young Jem'Hadar, he just looked like a guy.
Just a gray baby.
Yeah.
You're lying to your men? Or I guess technically not men because they're Jem'Hadar, and I'm unclear on the exact usage of the word.
I mean, I think with them it's all masculine pronouns because let's face it, they're all.
I mean, they're male, but are they men? Actually,
well,
are they
been to
even?
war?
I'm not even sure they are male. I don't think they're either male or female. I think they're just. I think they're.
Oh wait, someone. How could we have ignored this? Someone put in chat staring contest Garrick or Gowron.
I mean, Garrick could win because he'd probably just kill Gowron before he blinked.
I was just about to say I don't think anyone blinks in the show, but Cisco just blinked.
Yeah, he says there's no Jem'Hadar women, but that doesn't necessarily imply that there's Jem'Hadar men, because they're asexual. They're just cloned. Male and female doesn't really matter to Jem'Hadar.
Sure.
The only-
Omnicastnet says they are male, but all clones. No female seen for or produced.
The only Jem'Hadar female I could find was on Memory Gamma. That's like far off.
But I'm just thinking, the term male doesn't really mean anything if there's not also female, because then that's just every member of the species.
There is a Futurama joke, a rock species who says that they only have one gender called muchacho.
Okay.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they're not men or women. They're just muchachos. Freaking Otter saying he'll take care of this matter sounds like he's about to have people
you
killed.
have to question whether somebody's a male. They're probably not a male.
I feel like that question can open a whole jar of problems, so we should probably end the convo.
That's probably a good idea.
I mean, sure. I mean,
I think
that's what
it's
we're here, though,
kind
is
of
to have
preposterous
conversation.
to impose human gender standards on any of the aliens in Star Trek. Like, there's absolutely no reason to think that any species outside of our own would evolve in similar ways enough that we could even remotely identify similarities between those two things.
Well, we actually can, because the alien species that gave its DNA to all of the humanoids. What was it? The Klingons, the Romulans, the humans, the Ferengi.
Sort of,
So
but I mean, like,
I'm not talking about gender here. I'm just talking about biological sex, and I'm not sure it's a meaningful concept if there's no differentiation.
Good point.
Yeah, because I mean, the Jem'Hadar, they don't breed, so they wouldn't have the need for those concepts.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Fate
Well,
Signal says...
even when talking about
WMs
biological sex, it gets kind of complicated.
Look, life is complicated. Nature is complicated. Science is complicated. Nothing is as
Mammoths
simple
are
as it
complicated.
seems. I am very complicated.
Well, like, I mean, how do you judge the sex of somebody's nervous system?
Yeah, this evolved in a completely different direction than I was in. I was thinking of, when I was talking about men, I was thinking of like with a capital M. Like how in Lord of the Rings they refer to the race of men. The Jem'Hadar always sound so relaxed.
Well, they do not fear
They're
death.
very intense, but they don't emote much.
Well, they don't fear anything.
Here.
I mean,
This is what they were literally made for.
Yeah, they always know that they're going to win, or they think that, so they wouldn't have a reason to stress.
I suppose.
Yes, O'Brien always suffers.
I mean, he kind of brought it on himself this time.
No, I don't think it's his fault.
What do you mean heal his wound? Just shoot him. He's a Jem'Hadar.
Failure.
Execute. Murder him. There's no such thing as a Jem'Hadar wheelchair.
Jem'Hadar crutches.
You know, not only do they not have wheelchairs, they don't have chairs, period. Jem'Hadar just don't sit. That's some fine acting.
I like this guy. I'd vote for him.
Gronagar's alright.
Make him the new president
No,
of the
he's
Federation.
not. He's awful.
What do you mean? He's trying.
Yeah, what do you mean?
He's kidnapped two people and said
no.
like work for me or you're gonna die.
Yeah,
he's not
he
gonna be the
gets-
one killed.
He gets things done.
I like that idea.
What is he doing? Worf.
Let's kidnap the
War.
entire Ferengi.
I mean, it's just... I have a hard time calling him evil for that because he's in a very desperate situation.
He also has no manners.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
that's
wait,
the
hold
best
it.
time to judge people when they're in
Freaking,
desperate situations. Yeah,
Oh,
like
thank you.
Quark,
I was
like
talking more about the Denno bullions or whatever the hell they're called.
kind of like what Quark says in the AR-558. Yeah, they're happy when their bellies are full and their holodecks are working, but
Yeah.
put them in a desperate situation.
Now, Garonigar is specifically trying to keep them safe from the other Jem'Hadar who want to kill them. He is trying to be nice about it. As nice as you can be in a kidnapping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
very
feel like
curious.
that was a plot point you were just talking about.
I am curious about one thing though that I feel like it's very stupid, but would kind of work in Deep Space Nine. An episode where Quark gets a toupee.
Morn has a toupee episode, doesn't he?
No, we talk about his hair, but we never see it, I don't think.
Anytime Odo talks about doing his job, I feel like he's about to purge people for the General Secretary of the Soviet Union.
And Morn doesn't even need a toupee. He has a few wispy hairs on his head. He's fine. And as we learn in the future, in the far future, other Lurians take on the fashion of Morn and shave their heads.
Don't all Valyrians just have no hair?
Morn specifically is bald because he has latinum poisoning. Basically, he has cancer. He has space cancer, and his hair fell out. Hey, Ultima, what's going on? But yeah, we see other Lurians, and they also are bald, but that's just because that's what Morn looks like.
How much do you think Norm drinks on an average day?
A lot. I mean, he has 3 stomachs. He can hold a lot of liquor.
I vote for Norm. We need someone like Norm. He's a very charismatic speaker. He has such brilliant ideas. He would be a wonderful leader for the Federation.
The funny thing is, you're saying Norm, which is who Morn is based on, but Norm is from Cheers.
Where everybody knows your name.
I mean, when we know that Morn speaks a lot all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
you need to lubricate your speaking things.
So if Morn has 3 stomachs, does he also have 3 livers for all that liquor he drinks?
I think it's only 2 stomachs.
2 stomachs? He's not a cow?
No.
Cows have 4 stomachs, don't they?
I don't know.
Pretty sure it's 4.
Cows technically only have 1 stomach, but it has 4 distinct compartments made up of rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum.
You're talking about the anatomy of a cow, while the Jem'Hadar is talking about how he's lost faith in not only his government, but religion and God and life.
I mean, yeah, but cows, though.
Well, Odo doesn't even have a stomach.
Odo doesn't have anything except for pudding.
Okay, yes, I just looked it up. They have 2 stomachs. You were correct, 2 stomachs.
I mean, have you ever seen a Jem'Hadar manipulate?
Yeah, they're not a very subtle people.
Who's more
It's not
subtle
really
than
their
we're
thing.
Klingons?
So turn it into a nice guy.
That's holding people hostage.
Look,
Yeah,
come on. He was brought up in a pure warrior culture with no other avenues.
You can't. With aliens, it's kind of hard to dictate morality because our morality comes from our own path of civilization going this way. His civilization is just bred warriors bent on destruction. If anything,
he's been severely indoctrinated since he was birthed. I think we can give him a break.
If anything, he's practically a saint for Jem'Hadar standards.
He's making massive strides in turning into a good person.
Not only that, he's sort of something that's impossible to see. It's like seeing a Klingon that's a pacifist, or a Ferengi who wants charities, not a profit.
Well, we see 2 of those.
Yeah, but
Well,
Rob
all
is Rob's a special case.
all I'm seeing now anyway is a Jim Hadar who is willing to kidnap and let people die in order for them to do something that he wants. If he doesn't have that base level of empathy to know that what he wouldn't like he shouldn't put on other people, then that's a problem.
It is.
He's
not
going full on the
understand
needs of
when-
the many.
We didn't. Yeah, we're not saying that he's a perfect person. We're just saying he's on the path. Anyway, faint signal. I did say Odo has pudding. Have you looked at him when he's just pudding? He's just pudding. Or tapioca.
He looks
In that
more
one
like
episode, he was
not
oatmeal.
set Jello than pudding.
It's the color. When I think of Jello, I think of the bright red Jello or the bright green. But he's like an orange brown, so it looks like a very bad pudding.
Well, I'm referring to the fact that he's translucent more than his color. Pudding is not translucent; it's a solid color.
Now I'm pudding.
I do live right next to the grocery store. Maybe I should go buy some pudding.
I have pudding. I just don't know if I should have some pudding.
I mean, ideally not on stream, at least not if you do have pudding on stream, preferably put yourself on push to talk so don't get pudding sounds.
Faint signal asks, what if we accidentally ate Odo pudding? What
He
happens?
could probably just slither his way back up.
That actually is something from they do something talk about something similar on the Orville, where as a prank they have the Worf rip off the Worf like character accidentally eats part of a gelatinous creature and he has to fish it out of him. And I think the gelatinous form is voiced by Norm Macdonald. God damn it, I can't remember his name. Norm something.
That sounded right.
I haven't watched the Orville since like the first 2 or 3 episodes.
I liked it. They did do some of the dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Faint signal knows Norm Macdonald. Thank you.
I've watched all of the Orvilles so far. I don't know when season 3 is happening.
It's delayed because of quarantine.
Yeah, but it's coming out on Hulu too. I think it's a Hulu or something.
Apparently, it was just delayed again. The current plan for these shows is to be back in production the following week of January 18th. So, in the near future, just slightly delayed again. But that's starting production, so, actually seeing the show, it's going to be a while.
Anytime I look at Star Trek, I always begin to wonder, what would they look like with a mustache or a beard?
The Jim Hadar or Siddiq?
Any species, really, in Star Trek. Because look at the Jim Hadar. Look at that. What would that look like with a beard?
So as this is my stream, I'm going to issue an executive order. The abbreviation for Discovery is DIS.
Dis.
Disco.
Or disco.
ST Disco.
It's always STD.
No, don't be the kind of person who just uses derogatory names for things. Come on.
Yeah, what do you call a cute portal? Adorable.
Carl.
Carl.
Just the only series where ST is used in the abbreviation. For some people, anyway.
STD is almost exclusively used by people who are just trying to tear it down.
Yeah.
And I don't want my channel to turn into that. We're positive about Star Trek here as much as possible.
I'm definitely not that person that's trying to tear it down, but I used STD before I knew it was DIS on Memory Alpha anyway.
Well, the internet has chosen disco.
Huh.
I think we could just go with what they already chose.
Yep. I mean, as long as you're ready to learn and improve.
But it is your channel, So
Executive order, it is DIS.
Ryan's drunk. Don't listen to him.
I don't even drink, man.
Anyway, I'm here to take over the channel. I'm going to get rid of all this Star Trek nonsense and have everyone here watch the episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
I mean, Star Wars: The Clone Wars is pretty good. It did take me a while to finish because I got kind of weirded out by the well, not weirded out exactly, but I kind of lost interest in like season 3. There's this like underwater war happening with the fish people.
The fish people and the squid
And fish people are the worst.
The actor playing this alien looks familiar.
yeah, he does.
From Insurrection? The
He is.
main...
Worf, what are you doing? Oh, he just dropped Odo. Careful. Don't hurt Odo.
Odo kills Worf.
God, that is a really long time to metamorphose back into Odo. So, is Odo right now, right this moment, wearing a comm badge? Or is it just below the camera?
He's probably wearing it.
Yep, there it is. So, yeah, the perpetual question of where does the comm badge come from?
I think he was just storing it.
Yeah, he just keeps it like in the middle of his jello and just
in the goo somewhere. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh
never mind.
no,
This
secret of the
only,
universe.
next gen. It's the only Star Trek appearance. Never mind.
You know, something I just realized and probably feels bad. The scientist discovered Odo. Odo copied his hair and to look like him, right?
yeah.
And then every time
Dr.
we see
Mora.
a changeling that tries to look not like someone else, they take Odo's hair, right?
So they all look like Dr. Mora.
Yeah, you think Dr. Mora has to deal with all the people comparing his haircut to literally the space Hitler haircut? Now, is his haircut the equivalent of the Hitler stash?
Now, I still find it weird that Odo and the other shapeshifters do not give themselves Bajoran noses, given that they're modeling after Dr. Mora. I don't know why they're human.
Not sure what that means.
Well, Dr. Mora's a Bajoran, he has a distinctive Bajoran nose, but Odo doesn't have a nose, even though he modeled himself after a Bajoran. I don't get that.
He doesn't have a lot of fine features anyway. Like the crinkly nose is a lot finer than Odo seems to want to deal with.
I guess.
And when
I
we
suppose.
see older Odo, he's actually much more human looking.
I think it's because Kira was the only Bajoran, so when he's trying to be more humanoid, the best he can do is looking at the humans around him.
Yeah, you would think old Odo from the Children of Time episode, he would be able to have the Bajoran nose, but he doesn't.
Well, maybe it's because after so long without, whatnot, he doesn't really know how to do it. Like, he can't remember where it was exactly, and he doesn't want to screw it up.
So, Mr. Mammoth, do you have skin flaps over your eyes, other than just, your eyelids?
I don't have skin flaps over my eyes.
Okay, no skin flaps. I guess that was just Tony Todd. Tony Todd had skin flaps. See, this is where it's gonna start to more evidence that Garanagar is turning into a good guy. Not right this second, but you know, in like 30 seconds. What is he doing? Why is he freaking out so much? He still has white.
I think they've been rationing it.
See, he's a great guy. We all love Garanagar.
Granagar.
No.
All my homies love Granagar.
He's been film redeemed.
Remember, he said the first thing that they would do is kill him for betraying him. So he's really saving himself.
And if he was just saving himself, he would just leave. But no, what I was talking about specifically was just he's just letting them go. He kidnapped them, but he is actually releasing them. He's becoming a good guy. He's on the path.
He's not there yet. He's on the journey.
He's still doing some kidnapping, which he shouldn't do. Don't kidnap people.
Captain RGD asks, will you do Enterprise?
Yes, we will be doing every Star Trek show. Every single one.
Dear God. We're going to be here for decades.
That's okay. You've still got decades left, right?
Well, yeah. My one goal in life these days is to be a burden on my children.
Good. Yeah, I'm thinking we're doing TNG and DS9 now. Then we're gonna probably do animated series and Voyager. Then after animated, either TOS or Enterprise.
Oh, freaking Voyager's gonna be great when we get to the German episode.
Well, actually, after TNG, we're doing the TNG movies. And then switching.
What the hell is he working on?
It's the clock from the episode where they all had telepathic minds basically implanted in them.
They got obsessed with a single task, and then Cisco designed a clock. And that's the pendulum for the clock. Keeps time. Where does one find the animated... You know, that's a good point. I've said that we're going to watch the animated series, but I don't actually know where to watch it. I don't know if it's on Amazon.
On Netflix.
I have to get Netflix then?
The animated series is on Netflix, yes.
It's on CBS's streaming service, I think. Because
it's also on, some unrelated download sites, but I wouldn't do that.
The sketchy websites we're not allowed to talk about.
If it's only available legally on All Access, I'm a little more hesitant to do it, just because I want people to have a lot of options of where they can, see things.
The animated series is on Netflix, definitely where I'm at. So,
in the U.S., I just did a search on Just Watch, which is a site that lets you search basically all the streaming services, and it is only available on All Access in the U.S.
Okay. We might watch TAS after TNG.
Like I said before, though, it's probably cheaper overall if you just go to eBay or Amazon Marketplace and pick up the DVDs.
Yeah, I think I checked last week when we talked about this. It was $25 or something for the series. It's all 22 episodes.
Oh, it's the Rubicon.
The good old Rubicon.
Freaking Cisco really wanted that name. You know what? When I come out as enhanced, you remember this.
So, Sean, that would be an issue for illegal websites if they were illegal streaming websites, but illegal download websites don't have that issue of clicking through ads. Illegal download websites, which I'm definitely not advocating. I would never say that if you don't want to give money to CBS that you could use an illegal download site. I would never say that. Also, yeah, very serious discussion going on in the runabout about the morality of what they did. Oh, they hurt their friendship.
It'll get them back together again.
They will.
Oh,
It'll come
no.
back stronger, in fact.
I love how on everyone on the ship, on the list of who's more likely to do war crimes, it's Garrick, Cisco, and then O'Brien.
Yeah, I don't think I can pronounce that username. I think that might be too much.
All right. BQ8BEEM7A AY126DG at QM. I'm not here.
I can.
You're Bobby now. BQ. No, you're just Bubba Q.
Wow.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
yes.
BBQ.
So that's the last
There's-
episode for today. Let me put on the stream info. Oh, I see a cat. Hang on. Hang on, I need to...
Monday.
Ooh.
It takes a little bit of setting up. So next week on TNG, we're going to watch Best of Both Worlds, Family and Brothers. That's what I was
Yeah.
looking up there.
Can't wait.
Okay. Cat. We have a cat.
Kitty.
Ooh, and a pillow.
She has 4 beds in this apartment.
Kitty.
Fia.
Kitty cat.
All right, we've got it. The cat, of course, is the most important part of the stream. If anyone else has a pet that you would like to put a webcam on, we can get a video of your pets.
Oh god, the cat is learning.
Looks like Grudge.
You find out the entire time that Ryan said it is actually just a cat in disguise.
So, okay, I'm going to talk about Season 3 here briefly. In Season 3, I was really expecting Grudge to be a more significant character. I didn't think Grudge was just a cat. Turns out Grudge is just a cat.
Yeah, I was totally on board with the idea that Grudge was some kind of alien that was just disguising themselves as a cat.
Nope.
Just to be like a Captain Marvel kind of thing.
It's actually Odo the entire time.
I mean, there was an original series episode where some character was a cat. It was a terrible episode.
Oh, yeah, that one was so bad.
Cat's Paw.
Oh. Cat's Paw, yeah.
All right. I assume that's not the either Kazinti or the Cations?
No, it was literally a house cat.
Okay, good.
No, listen, alright. I'm telling you. What if the cat is just Odo who got thrown back in time again and he's looking for Quark?
You're petting the cat.
Possibly.
Look, alright? I don't watch Discovery, so I can say whatever the hell I want about it.
So, speaking of, animals in Star Trek that are literally just the animal, I'm reminded of that pet in Voyager from the murder investigation episode, like season 1 or 2. That lady owns a dog that's supposed to be an alien, but it's literally just a dog. They didn't even glue anything to its head. It's just a dog. Like, at least in the original series, they put a horn on the thing, but no, it's just, they didn't even bother that time.
This is a Voyager episode?
It's a Voyager episode.
I'm not remembering this.
Let me try and bring it up. Voyager.
What, the one where Paris has those memories implanted or something? And
the one where Paris is accused of murdering someone.
Oh,
that episode.
Ex post
yeah,
fact bill. Yeah.
It's a Chihuahua. But yeah. That episode was dumb.
Hang on, I need to
we
adjust
have,
the position of the window. There it is. There's
must-
the dog. It's just a dog.
Ah,
We must. Where did we
Oh,
see a
terrifying.
targ? Like, I wonder what targ. Did they? I assume a targ is just a dog with something glued to it.
I think we've seen a targ once.
Star Trek 3, I guess, right?
There's a puppet in Star Trek 3,
Oh,
but in TNG,
this is what I was thinking of. Yeah.
In TNG they glue stuff to a pig.
Yeah,
A
here's
pig,
the targ.
A pig. Yeah.
that's like when in the TOS episode where they glue a horn to a small dog.
Yeah, that was the Enemy Within,
Here's that.
where Kirk gets
Oh,
split into
Fox,
two personalities.
Sailot.
Love
You have
that.
Sailot
so
in
much.
Enterprise too? Trying to think about that one.
T'Pol had a pet Sailot when she was a kid.
That's right.
And so did Spock.
A teddy bear.
Anyway, here's the cat again.
That's a TAS episode. Spock having a pet. It's actually the best one too.
Okay.
That dog is more powerful than we will ever understand.
Lest we not forget Spot, Data's cat, and then we also had Archer's dog, right? The Beagle.
Hey, Spot.
Ghost. Yep.
Porthos did nothing.
Porthos was a good dog.
Porthos was the captain of Enterprise. Just nobody
Porthos
knew it.
was a great freaking dog.
I mean, look at that. Look at him or her, because it's actually played by a female dog. But look at Porthos.
Porthos was played by a couple different dogs. There was one that was more energetic and one that was calmer.
Oh, here's angry
played by
Porthos.
And
Murder Porthos.
was also played by a stuffed animal at one point. That one.
Yeah,
night.
it was a puppet in that.
You mean right
episode where
here?
they
In this specific...
put it in a tank.
It was a night in sick bay. It was very clearly a puppet.
Yeah.
Well, they can't submerge an actual dog.
Yeah, that would be bad.
I guess what they could have done, actually, is they could have made like a thin layer of stuff, so it's like a double-walled thing. And just put Porthos in it. But then the dog would not look suspended, I guess. It would just be floppy.
Also, no dog would be, unless they were completely drugged out of their minds, no dog would be that calm and that kind of restraint.
Okay, I really hope this is not actually I really hope this is the puppet and not like a... What's it called when you stuff a thing?
Taxidermy.
I hope this is not
Yeah,
taxidermy Porthos.
That's got to be a puppet.
That is, I think, the puppet. That may have been sold in an auction.
Oh, this is the
There's
episode where
there's
everyone is unconscious.
There's probably somebody who would pay good money for taxidermy Porthos.
To be fair, Star Trek Enterprise was in 2005. Any of the dogs that played Porthos is probably dead by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or very, very old.
Cat. Dog?
Most
Cat.
dogs in popular films are dead.
I assume
What about the whales?
Spot is probably dead.
Yeah, cats, I mean, they can live a lot longer.
They live
than
longer,
dogs,
but that show was also a lot longer ago.
Yeah.
Was it
Also,
early
that may
90s?
not have been the same cat each time either.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Anyway, so next week is going to be on Saturday the family arc of Best of Both Worlds, Family and Brothers. And then next week on DS9 on Sunday, my time, or Monday if you're in Germany for some reason.
Yeah.
It'll be Indiscretion with the introduction of Zial, Rejoined, where Jadzia Dax meets the lady that she's still in love with because they were together when there was Curzon in them. I think that's about it. And then Starship Down, which is the submarine episode. The submarine battle between the Defiant and a couple Jem'Hadar ships. That's pretty good. And I guess that's all we've got to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess stream's over unless you guys got
require
anything
solitude?
else you want to talk about.
Yeah.
I really need to find a more definitive way to end these things, so it's not just when people get quiet for a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like go away isn't the most gracious ending.
But I love saying
We've
go
changed
away.
endings.
Okay.
Oh, have we? I was just doing it for a bit, but I can. I mean, the new one isn't really more polite.
You changed it to "You must leave me now. I require solitude." Don't you remember?
I know, but that was just because we did Sarek that week. I guess I could make that the
That's
regular.
why. That's why anytime I vanish, I just go, "Mammoth, away."
Let's see. I could keep saying go away. I could say I require solitude. I could say be gone. Be gone is good.
Dismissed.
Speaking of going away, I have to go away. I must march down to Georgia. Ain't gonna burn itself.
Oh, look at harmonics. It's all freaking professional and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got the heavy duty mic.
Are we? Are we
Oh
showing off
wow.
mic
Here I
ports?
am with just this stupid little thing, and
Got the pop filter.
Yeah, but it hurts my back to talk on this for 3 hours.
fair enough.
Hang on. Is that? I don't want to show people's faces on stream because I feel weird about that. But we can look on the blur if there's a mic. Because that was just in the little window for me because I had the cat maximized. What kind of mic?
Oh god. I'm
Studio
so sorry.
mic. Just kind of got this arm coming off of the table, hovering over the computer.
So I've got my. I also have an arm here. And I've got my AT2035 is what I'm using. Got the nice little pop filter rubber banded onto it.
I have a Blue Yeti on an arm.
Blue Yeti's pretty good.
It's a Chinese brand.
I have a Rode Procaster. Oh, no.
A Rode Procaster. Very fancy.
Are you a procaster?
I tried to be, but I was more amateur. Then I gave up.
I mean, did you literally make any money, like a single penny off of it?
No, so I was strictly amateur.
Okay. I was going for a technicality, but I guess it's not going to work out. Okay, look, stream's over. Eric, just leave. I require solitude. I got other things to do. I gotta like make some food because I haven't eaten today.
What things do you have to do? Tell
I have to
me.
go and cook, and then I don't know. It's Sunday, so I don't really have anything. Maybe I'll go play StarCraft or something. Go away.
He doesn't have a replicator.
Maybe I'll try and finish my book. I've been reading Sherlock Holmes. It's okay. Stardew Valley's
I thought
pretty
you
good.
finished that book already.
No, I had a dream that I finished it. It was a nightmare because I finished my book, and that's the last physical book I have. And I had a nightmare that I finished it before my e-reader arrived, so I didn't have anything to read.
Oh.
It was horrifying.
It sounds like it.
All right, just leave. Stream's over.
All right, bye everybody. See you next week.
Just...
Bye.